evening, everybody. This well-snackified crowd is the crew of the Merrily, and we are preparing to continue our journeys on Liberty, but it sounds like the trip might depart from there into other portions of the cluster. Tonight we have Karina with Judah. We have Kyle playing Mr. Spivey. We have Tev over here with his new character, Hanto Yager. And of course we have Matt, who is playing the newly psionic Silas Beggs. Wow. English bad. Okay. So take a hit of coffee here.
You caught my itis.
So, before we begin, no questions to begin. Who wants to tell me exactly where we are, and then we'll get started from there. Not everybody at once. Okay,
Alexei Zyrko was... we're meeting with Alexei Zyrko in a archipelago somewhere on Liberty. And it crashed. What were those sites called again? Those cities? Floating cities?
Floating cities.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought they had a cooler name than Floating Cities.
No.
Liberty Flying Cities, Floating Yacht Cities.
Sky Cities. Yeah.
Sky
No,
Cities.
and they
There we
were,
go.
well, not at the side of one of those. We passed by one on. This was at an actual
You're right. This
a
island
corporate retreat that he's
You're right.
kind of taken over.
Yeah, those Sky Cities aren't so much flying now.
But he bought Torgana Enterprises.
Yeah, who runs this retreat?
Yes. And so this is Alexei Zyrko, who, as you know, was a wealthy financier before the fall, who happened to have run into Normandy/Liberty legal processes and was in a black site where you guys actually found him. Following liberating him, he owed you a favor, and you guys, since you've returned to station, or since you've actually come to Liberty, and your pictures are now all over the legal net.
Only two of us.
He signaled you, the same two as always.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He signaled you. His people noticed you, or he noticed you, and you got a coded signal from, remember, a cipher that he gave you months and months and months ago.
We gave him.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So you traversed Liberty, following a incident at Yele City. I should call it the incident Yele City.
It
And
was only a bar, not even a bar brawl. Come
you
on.
shot a policeman.
Just
Did
a
it.
little
I
bit.
I think I
I do it. Nope,
No,
I
not
didn't
you
do it.
as a crew. Shot a
you
policeman.
guys.
You know,
Okay,
all
so
of
the
you.
crew, maybe, yes.
Yeah. So you have evaded the law and arrived at this archipelago, once a corporate reserve,
Did some badass flying along the monorail trail.
And-
Mom wasn't
Right.
pleased.
found Alexei Zyrko. Alexei has commandeered this corporate retreat for his new headquarters. If you recall, there were a couple of ships already here. One was a yacht which was being torn apart, and then the other one was a standard trader.
Yeah.
And now your
Poor guy.
freighter also lies there, sort of in dock, and being fueled, resupplied with food, etc., etc.
He's looking into getting the Peregrine for us through his friends, if provided, of course, we go and pick up something he wants from.
Capital tied up in Caprice, small
Caprice.
arms, electronics, and mechanical parts.
Yeah, so he has now, for all intents and purposes, become kind of a warlord, right? And
We need a boss.
and so he was prepared to get the Peregrine 17 for you, which has little monetary value, in exchange for you guys doing a bit of a job for him and liberating some of the goods and services that he had tied up on the planet of Caprice. Now, you guys have been to Caprice. You're pretty sure you're not going to like what you find there.
When we go back, no, we don't.
We broke it.
Of all the
You
planets,
broke everything, okay?
of all the planets in the cluster, I think we broke it the most.
Yes, it was the most broken. How many things can we break? All of them. Oh, okay.
Well, let's see.
So how many people do you think died because of us?
On there, oh, plenty.
Caprice. I'm trying to remember the population of Caprice. The casualties were very high.
Some of that wasn't us. Some of that was just like...
No,
Yeah,
okay.
a lot of it wasn't.
Well, the freighter started it, and then we definitely did not help it.
Caprice has not had a banner year. Just going to throw that out there.
Wasn't for the fact that there was the EMP pulse that was called in because of Marvin.
Not Marvin.
Well,
Steel Rain.
Steel Rain.
Yeah.
Me.
And then
Actually, Steel Rain created the pulse. He triggered it in order to stop the communication from getting off planet about his location.
right. But still.
I am the one who plugged in Marvin.
Into an outside socket.
There was that, yeah. So, congratulations.
And then Disney didn't help the fact that the planet's barely on life support as it was.
What's funny is I'm this chaotic in real life too.
The Nizinski probably didn't hurt Caprice very much, though.
No, Karina, don't plug
Because,
it in.
I mean, a lot of the event systems were already
Just ask my
bailing
programmer
wire and
at
duct
work.
tape.
Yeah.
I broke 3 things today.
Whoa.
So, Caprice's pre-fall population was 35 million.
Was that before the freighter or before?
Yes. Okay. So,
I'm guessing there's no census agents working right now.
so you guys are now on Liberty. You were left to your own devices, basically to be entertained by Zyrko's staff, to take advantage of whatever his hospitality was, but also to give you a chance to discuss whether or not you actually wanted to do this. You'd all sort of, metagaming wise, shook your head yes, but you haven't actually discussed it as a crew yet.
And Harlan in the background going, yes, say yes!
Okay, it's not Baltar, it's Zyrko.
I said
Yeah.
Zyrko.
So, from Hanto's perspective, sure.
You want to go because we got the equipment to make
Caprice,
Peregrine.
yeah. Caprice, we can get equipment to make Peregrine 17 back in Kasari. Plus, at the same time, Zyrko can get Peregrine 17.
So that you have a
We
supply.
have a
And,
secret
hey,
reason for
didn't you
going,
guys
too.
say something about there's some unfinished business you had on Caprice?
There's a friend we need to fix.
Go fix a friend.
Do we actually want to fix the friend when he's around? Can we kill him off?
Oh no.
Yeah, I guess the question you really got to ask yourself, who's more important to you, Marvin
He
or
tragically
Yammer?
new guy.
died while finding this Peregrine 17. Our losses are so bad. Please give us money.
Ooh.
We're the
Our next
heroes
character.
yeah.
Hello, I'm Marvin.
Marvin's a full AI. Beep, beep, boop.
I was just
That's
gonna
right,
give
he
you
was a
voice box.
mute. Oh, I'm kind of like
He was
this
in
idea.
so much pain playing. Marvin emphatically points that there.
I'd have a text like scrolling on a screen.
No, we didn't have that. I think Carlin was actually trying to.
And a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You'd be attaching yourself to a printer going,
Anyway, so let's get back. So you guys are planning on taking the offer?
It
Yes.
sounds like a good offer, provided we can get out of Liberty orbit without getting our asses shot off.
Oh, no problem.
Zyrko should be able to help with that.
Now you are
Does Judah need help with that?
currently you guys are on the planet without a transponder on.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we can just
Just make
take
it
a
easier.
cruise out into the ocean for a while and
Yeah.
try catching us once we've got escape velocity.
Yeah.
It could be erratic and whatnot. I don't think that's too big of a problem. Yeah, I'm all for.
Sure.
I'm all for a new tack. I think
I think Liberty's.
things went kind of sideways.
No, they kind of went south, not sideways.
Sideways? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was not an east-west migration. It was
No.
Down, all the way down.
It was a southerly migration.
It went down like us falling from the sky.
pretty much.
We got some epic carousians, so.
That wasn't a
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Zyrko will be back tomorrow to basically discuss whether or not you want to do this thing.
Does Rika come off the ship? And then we know we kept them separate, but she is known on this planet. Will she stay on?
Right, but also, Rika, when you first rescued her, first off, you had a little trouble actually recognizing her from her sort of the glamour shots from her on the planet. Since that time, she doesn't really do anything to change her appearance from being just basically a space tramp, right?
Yep.
So, rather than the, 5,000 credit dress, she's wearing the 20
By
credit.
tramp, you mean hobo, not hoe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you're assuming so. You never actually met her at the bar.
She can't keep up.
She'd take that dare.
We've got a third.
Oh no!
So,
Three sets
but
of
yeah, so
carousing
she's
rolls, that's
she's
too
wearing
much.
like a 20 credit ex-military jacket.
I'm pretty sure Judah's loaned her some scarves before too.
Yeah, and so does she is she as distinctive? She's an attractive woman, but she is not necessarily so distinct as to
stand out as much
Right.
as
Now,
without
but
without
that
Nobody
said-
think twice about her walking off of
well,
her 200
but that
ton.
said, she is relatively known on Liberty, and Zyrko is not unfamiliar with social circles, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody would be to recognize her, like if you took her to the bar, in the LA City, probably not.
Yeah.
But Zyrko is probably one of the few people on the, even though he's never met her, he might
know of her.
correct.
Be observant
And
of
no
that.
But that could just be one of those things
Face
like,
would
yeah,
trigger
she looks a
facial
lot like.
recognition just because you can't change bone structure.
That's
Yeah.
like she just happens to look like a famous person. It
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. Right? So, like, this is the picture that I have for her, right? And she's, attractive, but not,
Distinctive.
and right. And she
Particularly.
wasn't a celebrity per se, right? She was a socialite. So,
Paris Hilton before. Paris Hilton.
right. Yeah. So, that, does this close them on that one? Oh, it doesn't. Darn it. Okay. So
Nope, doesn't close it over there either.
no. So yeah, so I guess then the question becomes, what do you do? Like, you can, if you like, take her off the ship. She would not necessarily go into the facility with you guys, but she's definitely off the ship.
We're just
Right.
working around it.
Working around it, maybe headed down to the beach. Remember, you guys are on an island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few beaches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're
This is
surrounded-
a
this
beach
is
for
a
weekends,
corporate
yeah.
getaway.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's nice beaches.
This is
Yeah.
a former corporate resort.
Alright, yeah, she can.
Yeah, I'd recommend this if there's one chance to get off the
Well,
ship.
we've got
go for a
yeah.
swim.
Before we get, because the trip to Caprice is not going to be a short one, if I remember correctly.
Well, especially not if you're doing multiple skips in order to, be safe,
Yeah.
right? Because that was what Falk recommended was rather than doing sort of like these big spins,
Yeah.
you'll skip, right? Skip, adjust, skip, adjust, skip, adjust.
Oh, kind of get our bearings after
Correct.
a smaller jump.
See how
so
much
not
things
just
have moved.
beaming ourselves into a moon or
Now,
a planet or something.
no, because none of the torch stations are actually up, or we don't know where any of them
No,
are.
they've been deactivated for about the last 800 years.
Right.
Ever since stellar cartography was completed for the cluster, right? And computers actually tracked all of the individual objects,
Yeah.
and from there, we're able to provide you with updated charts every time you docked with a Class C or better starboard.
Well, hopefully other planets will be having the same ideas and sending out people to...
Well, it depends on
where
how well they read
last
their histories.
know.
I imagine a lot of planets are just.
I think part of the problem is
Or
everything's
three.
taken for granted. There's like an immense amount of reverse engineering to be compatible with all the nav systems and stuff.
I think
probably.
Liberty's probably typical for a lot of the planets that have everything they need.
So, one thing you should note, however, is over the last few days while you've been here, because you've been down on the planet now for a few days? Like 5 or so?
5
Just
days,
spent a
I
bunch
think.
of time
Yeah.
flying around and getting
And you took the
trouble.
slow boat to here, right?
Mhm.
Like you guys didn't do the fast route. You
Yeah.
You're
We
loading
took the
slow.
long,
slow.
slow route.
Okay, so first thing you want to do is charge your fuel and your life support.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. The life support that they provide for you is incredibly basic.
Oh, yeah.
Your basic, extruded proteins, etc., etc.
Nutritional slurry number 3. My favorite.
It will definitely keep you alive. Right.
Yogurt tubes.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
I miss chewing.
And the fuel is you can pump it from the ocean, which is right
And
there,
refine it.
and refine
Yes,
because you have
exactly.
lots of
Yeah.
time. So in the few days that you've been here, one of the things you've been Falk has been doing is sort of keeping up with the news, etc. And he informed you just not for any type of interrogation or anything like that, but there are several members of the Liberty Senate who are now advocating for the confiscation of all private ships not owned by Liberty owners.
Oh. Hurrah.
Because there is a distinctive lack of Liberty Navy, right? And since Liberty contributed such a massive portion of their gross domestic product to maintaining Liberty Navy and maintaining peace within the cluster, it's their right to do so, okay? There are some people as well on the planet who are advocating for the seizure of goods that are necessary for the continuation of Liberty as it is, okay? Sounding more and more like some of the Liberty security forces might be used in their own smash and grab services here sometime in the near future.
Kind of Wild West here.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about Wild West, more like military dictatorship.
And Zyrko is not a Liberty native.
No, he is a Liberty native. What's that?
Technically, he was the mortgage holder of our ship. Can we maybe make some paper so we're a little safer here?
Yeah. So officially, what they're proposing is any ship that is not captained by a Liberty native will be.
Rika, you are now back to being your original self. Ay, Capitan.
I'm sure Liberty has lots of unused IDs as well.
Yeah. Anyhow, so what that says, though, is that it sounds like Liberty is positioning its remaining fleet and security resources and assets to the seizure of anything necessary for the continuation of the Liberty lifestyle and the Liberty and the freedom of people from Liberty. Libertarians,
Yeah.
Liberty
Libertines?
Libertines.
I like libertarians. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
We know who we mean.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're definitely gearing up. Okay. Meaning that future encounter with Liberty vessels in the cluster may not be all that positive.
We maybe should get some fake IDs.
Okay. So,
I don't even know if fake
you guys spend the morning or spend the evening pillaging Zyrko's wine closet and eating some of the food. It's seafood garnered, by vessels around the actual resort itself. So the food is quite good. And following a night of sort of fires on the beach or music or whatever it is that you guys partake of, you find yourselves sort of waking up around a cup of coffee in the guest suite. That has been assigned to you. Zyrko comes in, and he's well manicured as always, although his suit is now distinctly looking out of date. Okay.
So Zyrko's retreat, how populous is it? Is it pretty?
You would guess that maybe he has 100 or so men working for him here.
Okay.
It's not desolate for sure.
Okay.
And a good number of them look to be ex-military.
Social opportunities are minimal.
No, not necessarily.
Speak for yourself.
Yes, that's
What kind of social opportunities are we talking about?
I'm sure there's some for you too.
Were you looking for something?
Husari is a very cosmopolitan planet.
All right.
I think we can get to some trouble. No worries.
All right. However, you don't before the next morning rolls around. Well, there's no local authorities except for Zyrko's thugs, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of join in with you. So
Yeah.
Who's gonna keep us in check?
how much trouble can you get into?
I'm in a little tea trouble. Like fun.
Okay. So yeah, you find yourselves the next morning. Zyrko arrives. He has in his hand a slender carafe of coffee, which smells rich as he walks in. Good morning. I trust you enjoyed the hospitality.
Most excellent. Thank you
And
very
without
much.
waiting to be invited, he kind of sidles over, sits down at the head of the table, crosses his legs, puts the coffee on the table, reaches in. He's like, "Do you mind?"
Go right ahead.
Do any of us smoke?
Okay.
No, but
I don't know. Does he have any to share? I'll try.
Oh, well, of course.
All right.
Your character could. You're new.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a strong, heady smell of some sort of organic beyond tobacco.
Okay.
Okay.
Have I ever tried it before?
That's
No,
for you to
I
decide.
haven't.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
It looks a little brooding. It's clove.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a beret.
You can make a strength check. And strength endurance check, actually. Endurance is a skill, right?
Strength, survival,
We really
Survival.
No, it would be force then. Strength, force.
force. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Woo! This goes right to my head.
I can see you being a wacky tobacco.
One success.
Smoker.
Okay, so you take a hit of it, and as soon as you take a hit of it, there is a rush of endorphins and a variety of other things, and you recognize the telltale signs because you're medical personnel of Stiblis oil.
Yes, Stiblis.
Okay, Stiblis seeds are crushed into an oil, which is one of the most common sort of low-end drugs.
Okay.
It's the cannabis of the cluster.
All right.
Okay, and it's also, you guys actually got caught. You guys tried to rob a yacht which was actually carrying.
A ton of Sibyllus into somewhere that wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
happen.
because it was only actually grown on Kasari or something.
Yeah.
Is that when we dropped a APC on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Janan. That was Janan.
That was
So we
Janan.
kind of glossed over the Stiblis part.
Penrose Security.
Yeah. Okay. So he takes a hit of it. Takes a sip of his coffee. Oh, a horrible night. Your parents in 17. I was able to make some inquiries about it over the night. A lot of people are asking me why I want it, but I'm able to get it for a good price, which means that I'm able to fulfill my end of the bargain. Or, of course, you're more than welcome to attempt to retrieve it yourself.
No, I don't know if I speak for the rest of the crew. I think we're quite happy with
So,
working with
in his mouth, he's like,
someone with
Pulls
better
his hair
local
back.
connections.
sorry?
We're quite happy to work with someone with better local connections.
Well, excellent. So you're going to make the run to Caprice for me. That's my understanding, just so that we have all the cards on the table.
That is my understanding too. The rest of the crew seems very.
No, it seems like we.
You wouldn't talk out without us agreeing.
Yeah, I'm assuming we talked about. That's why I'm starting looking at you as players. Though I'm assuming we sorted this out last night or whatever.
Yeah, you were-
Pete's infiltrating a corporate enclave.
Yeah.
I've heard a variety of stories coming from Caprice, so I can't tell you what you're going to find there. What I will tell you is this. During my time before the virus outbreak, there was always a need to be able to provide certain elements, secure communication, equipment, etc., in case you ever needed to use them as agents or operatives. I cached all of those goods on Caprice. A logical place, they're locally manufactured. Caprice's consumer laws were relatively loose, and it was not in any way related to liberty.
Yeah.
Therefore, it made sense.
You have the locations of the caches?
I do. Are you familiar with Caprice?
To a certain extent.
We've been there a couple of times.
All right. Well, so would he know how much? Probably not.
Depends on whether or not we already picked up some of the caches.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh, you got that one already.
Oh, that one's been looted already.
I don't know
Sorry,
that
that's
address.
already been traded off to that gang.
So this, of course, is Caprice. I'm just going to close these pictures for the people at home.
Would you like to explain the geography, topography of Caprice?
So Caprice is a relatively desolate world with a thin atmosphere, and the only place the atmosphere is actually thick enough to breathe is in a deep trench, which the city of Gomorrah, this city, was created. Now, it was a corporate-free zone. Many of the major corporations held large investments there, auto factories, a variety of other things. And the corporate law there meant that literally they could manufacture or test anything that they wanted to. They did that and suppressed the population, leading to a popular uprising by a group of people called the Liberati. Now, unfortunately, Caprice in the past 2 years has suffered a number of catastrophes. The first catastrophe, of course, was a large freighter which somehow crashed into one of the largest food production districts of the city, reducing the food output locally by about 40% and spawning massive food riots. Secondly, someone detonated an EMP pulse over the city. And most of the systems on the city were very rudimentary. So all of the air processing, all of that, none of them were protected from EMP. The characters happened to be there at the time. Coincidence?
Of both?
Purely coincidence.
Coincidence? Yeah, both times you guys were
Yeah.
there. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's how we got out.
That's crazy times, yeah. Huh, what a weird coincidence. And,
I don't think they work, but
what happened was you were able to see some of the effects of the EMP, but what you do know is that the massive radio signals coming from the trench most of the time had effectively ceased. Right? Yeah, so you guys were lucky because you happen to have a spare fusion generator.
yep. Which we
Oh,
still
got one of
have.
those.
Best
Which was
discovery
offline
ever.
at the time.
Yeah.
Which was offline at the time. That was really lucky, actually.
That was about the best salvage I've done in a while.
Yeah. And but you have not been back to the trench since that time.
No, because
Okay.
we went up and we set off the distance.
Yep.
You did what?
No idea what you're talking about. He's been smoking that same crack.
Okay. So what he tells you is that what you're looking for is in the Gomorrah hub, which is a place you've never specifically been to before, but you know where it is. Okay, and that is right there. The Gomorrah hub was sort of like a trade district of Gomorrah itself. A lot of the corporate trade went on there, etc. He describes this place to you as a lower level repository. Okay, it is set into the wall of the canyon itself, meaning that it was relatively secluded, and because of the, like I said, the lax trade and customs laws, it was easy to get stuff in and out of. He does note that at the Gomorrah hub there were numerous landing pads. So
Sorry, I was looking down when you clicked. Where is Gomorrah Hub?
Right there.
Ah, up there.
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually gone there.
No, we haven't.
It's one of the few places.
So again,
past it.
Babylon Summits, that was basically the corporate headquarters where the wealthiest were. The Heights right here, this was where the rich people lived, up and into the Genji Trench. Down here in the Paladin Lots, this was sort of where the large corporations stored a ton of their cargoes, all corporate land. Gallet was the food manufactory, okay, and then to the south, as you went farther away from the core, you got more into the smaller manufactories, the auto, like all of those, and then finally on the very outskirts and on the upper levels, you would get to, or upper and ultimate lowest levels, you would find the gray zones.
So the Liberati
They were.
We're up here.
headquarters was up there somewhere, right?
That's
Remember-
correct.
I wiped out down below.
Yeah, they were up in Kayon up here,
Yeah.
in that area, and the Tourmaline Trench, those areas.
Out here were a few other things that we kind of ran
We
into.
didn't. We ran across bandits. It's you and I.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
You still have one of their motorcycles.
Yeah, we saw one of the spider cars.
it? Yeah, that was so freaking hurt.
Yep. Okay. So that is Caprice as it was, say, 6 months ago.
Yes.
192 days or whatever.
117 days since the key. Not that anybody called it. They actually call it after the virus.
Yeah.
They think it's a virus. Okay.
Well, none of the major systems are online enough to actually
Diagnose anything?
diagnose it.
Yeah. Which is good for us.
All right, so he seems. So after he gives you the information, he seems quite pleased with himself. Here are the crates that I need. It's about 50 tons of cargo, so you're going to need to park your ship close, and you're going to need to handle the cargo into your ship. Anything else that's there? Yours to take. Not interested in it. This is what I'm after.
Okay.
So
Does this facility have a landing pad?
Lots of landing
Lots of landing
pads.
pads.
Yeah, in Gomorrah Hub there are numerous landing pads.
Okay.
another question: cargo loading. We might be able to salvage something from.
We're never gonna do it without Dread.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ah, Dread. Dread's dead, baby. Dread's dead.
But is there any spare cargo loaders or at least pallet jacks and stuff here at the?
There are not. This is
We
a
have
corporate
some.
retreat.
We have some lifters.
Okay.
You have lifters and you have a cargo crane.
Yeah.
Then
The
You
process
go
will
woo
be
one
manual.
of his security men who are nice and buff or something to place a dread. You could say cosmopolitan, so
That's right.
that
Is that what you interpreted cosmopolitan?
matter. The way he was saying it, yes.
I'm cosmopolitan. All right,
What's the other one?
Who?
Metrosexual? What's that? Metrosexual.
that's right. I think I think Hato is now.
You discover that you're a smoker and cosmopolitan.
Well, it made sense. You know, as a doctor, he's not scared of medicines and drugs and stuff. You know, see what this is.
I thought he would
So you
respect his
could roll
body
for
a
it
little.
theoretically, and you could say,
Better living through chemistry.
you know, on. You could if you wanted. You could roll d20 and d6. So d20 is higher, you're straight. If the d20 is lower, you're gay. And if they're tied, you just swing.
I think,
Or
now,
you could just decide for your character.
I think I already rolled.
Dr.
the math
Yeager
on this
is
one?
not too concerned with all your guys' boxes and cans. He's
So
just.
pansexual.
I'm thinking Captain Jack Harkness now.
Ah, yes, okay, gotcha.
That wasn't where I started, but that's where I ended up.
And tonight I think it's robot.
So tell me more about Marvin.
Is it Marvelous Marvin?
Very well could be.
One moment, please.
One moment.
All right, I need to know how you guys are going to get off this off the planet. I know you're going to fly.
By spaceship, yeah.
I'm cool if you just want to, like, I'm thinking
Won't we be shot down for being an unidentified?
that would be the thing, is if we go out in the middle of the ocean, we take off, we probably got some amount of headway before we even show up in planetary defense systems. But there is a good chance they'll just
But
launch
there's
an
still
intercept
ships
missile.
up there.
Not very many. Most of
They're
the
spread a little
shot.
thin because they've lost all their
Planets
heavy
are
duty
big.
tech stuff, which they used to use. So
Well,
everything's
Ireland do a
little-
scan or
But
figure
there's still
out where
missiles and
there's
stuff, right?
Find
a
our-
hole in the net.
Again, Harlan has said that.
Oh, he has to plug in.
Harlan has said that he would be more than willing to do that. To ascertain the planet sensor net would take between 3 and 6 days.
Right.
That might be alright.
I'm
we-
all for not getting shot down
Yeah.
before we even start.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
And next characters. We're on a,
Motivated to revenge the original characters.
Yeah.
let's burn Liberty. Liberty's burning. There you go. Your next chapter. I don't like the idea of them becoming
Especially if there's a-
legalized pirates.
We're all
Yeah, especially if
spacers
there's like an
now.
oppressive
No,
military
no,
dictatorship
they are a
around.
legitimate government seizing assets in the name of national security.
Legalized pirates.
This sounds like Spain during the.
Even to this
Royal
day,
area.
like if you register a boat,
Yeah.
Queen owns like basically the share enough
Well,
of
if
it
you
that
registered in Canada,
yeah.
that's why you registered in Panama, because what's the chance that they could ever actually, we want part of our boat. Oh, you can want it all you want. All right, so you basically have two choices. Do you go hot or do you go smart?
We're in a really nice place right now. Let's go smart.
Smart.
There's beaches.
I suppose, yeah. Spending a few days.
Okay, so
And it's
you
gonna
can't
take-
be stationary, right?
No.
You actually need to get in the ship, fly, look for the sensor nets, and at that point he can ascertain them, right? Well,
Can he come back
Okay,
and pick us
fine.
up when he figures it out?
Oh, so it's just him and I going now?
I will
have to go
enjoy.
I guess there's also
I'll enjoy the retreat on your behalf. I'll
There's-
send you pictures.
you can send Rika,
She's got some piloting skills, and hey, she
and
doesn't
you
want to be
never see them
recognized.
again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No. You
So
think?
yeah, so hot or smart?
Smart.
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 Okay.
I actually think hot for once.
I gotta admit, I'm on the fence. You swayed me. Okay, hot.
I'm actually surprised that Judah went smart.
I feel
but-
like there's still like a lot of opportunity for encounters or for 3 to 6 days of
Yeah.
schlepping around under the radar. It doesn't.
Oh,
it's
I guess
like
that's
it's
true.
like there's these like strange pictures these people took on the island. Rooster tail.
Like, hey, what's going on?
That's true.
So it might make more sense to go hot. I don't know. I wouldn't want us all to die, so.
I think we have a decent chance of doing it if we go hot. Just from there's ocean, so we got a good running start. It's just
Running
worried
start
about,
and go, huh?
and this maybe evade a couple missiles, and we should be free and clear.
Yeah, you're not thinking that it's atmospheric challenges.
It's once we get outside of the atmosphere.
That's what I'm
Anybody
assuming
getting
is
to us on
torpedoes
our
or
way
missiles
out, like
from-
we're
Okay, here's a
burning hard.
Here's a question.
In a straight
Somebody else.
How far out of atmosphere or out of gravity well do we have to be before we can jump?
You can never jump, but to spin.
Well, to spin, sorry.
10 diameters.
Okay.
That's not so bad.
Is that a hard limit?
No, absolutely not. Falk is prepared to try it right now.
Because it could be just a really, really little jump.
Well, we've done micro jumps or micro spins before.
Yeah, so the gravity well, what it does is it affects how your spin drive basically has two virtual masses in it.
Yeah.
They spin around each other, creating a relativity bubble. That bubble interacts poorly with other gravitic surfaces,
Yeah.
right?
So is the main risk closer to? Well, I guess really close to the planet. The main risk would be is that
Yeah,
the
so
whole
ultra
ship doesn't
safe.
jump
So
or
normally
spin.
you do not go beyond 100 diameters.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 is the minimum,
Yeah.
right? So what I would rule is, since we're converting systems here, base 3 successes in order to make a jump within 10.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm changing out blues. Blues are not. Blues are
I'm
becoming
thinking,
items.
what are the consequences of failure? Bad navigation or actual mishap to the ship because the bubble's not big
Either
enough?
or, yes.
Okay, say it's all on the table. Because if we do try hot and we do get into trouble, we could risk trying to jump early.
It could be that your spin drive goes without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Or it's the
That
bubbles
sounds
in a
bad.
weird shape and
It is.
not the whole ship goes
Yeah.
in one spin.
Considering the ship, that part, having just a part of the ship disappear on us is never a good thing.
Well, it won't disappear. You'll know where it went.
Yeah.
Because you'll have had the...
It'll try to bring the rest of the ship along with it in some fashion.
Have you seen bolts and metal plating?
Alright. Alright,
Plate
fine.
needed
3
replacing
successes,
anyway.
huh?
It'll still probably impart a lot of velocity.
But it's not you.
at least.
It's Falk or whoever's doing the...
Well, he does navigation to give me bonuses to mine. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
What's our plan with this cargo situation? Like, we're going off, we're getting stuff, we're coming back.
That's
Oh.
going to be the fun part, too.
Right, yeah. So he says he doesn't need you to drop it off here. Okay?
Okay.
He's got a...
He actually has a drop point in orbit around the moon of Kansas.
Huh.
Okay?
So we just have to get into Kansas's...
Yeah, so Kansas
Kansas
is in orbit around Liberty.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
super militarized one.
No, that's Merlin.
Oh,
Merlin's the
okay.
closer one. Kansas is the other one.
okay. Good.
It's a resource exploitation, and the station that he points out to you is an up station for mineral offloading.
Easy
Okay.
enough.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Alright,
No,
good.
You think that's probably going to be
mine,
easy?
but-
Yes,
Okay, well,
good.
here, it should just affect your
Something like
video.
delivering cargo under fire.
Okay, no, you're still connected.
I'm still
You just
connected.
can't see
I
video.
just can't see the actual stream. I got a browser or decoding browser error.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's fine.
But you can still see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we are. You guys are gonna basically run hot and make a risky spin. Is that the idea?
I think it's Judith's call. Does she feel confident enough to...
I don't like the idea of our spin drive leaving without us, just for the record. So
Well, okay, if we do
slightly
a
less
hot
risky.
hot run off
Depends
planet,
on our encounters, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
we
then
have no idea.
Because
can we prep the spin before we leave planet?
No,
Okay.
no. Sort of. He can begin the prep. He can begin the spin
Calculation.
calculations. You'll probably do a short spin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, to get
really
out of
short.
orbit or to get away from the planet, and then do a longer calculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he can begin that right away. Then you just need to get to 10.
10 diameters out
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
without getting shot.
Cool
So,
beans.
Strictly speaking, the smart play might be to do it smart rather than hot.
That's why it's
Hence the
called smart.
term smart.
But
Let's see how well Harlan helps me.
But
I can actually see what
Karina
it
has
does.
new dice.
Yeah, those can stop rolling 6s.
You just have to...
They're just
Whoa.
saving up for this next roll.
Okay. Okay, so so you guys sit. Harlan jumps into his crash couch about 5 minutes before you arrive at the pilot seat, and he begins hammering out coordinates on the nav computer.
Yeah.
The entire time he's going, all these are out of date, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's not there. I have no idea where the fucking moon is. I'm gonna have to do that calculation by hand. Of course, our data has been updated in 126 days. Right. So complaining the entire time, he says, "But if anybody can do it, it's me."
Wouldn't it have been updated like 118 days ago? So we attached to a beam station to.
Is it science?
What?
Is it science?
It is science.
Can I help him? Like pull data from?
No.
Different type of.
This has been his bane.
No,
for a
science.
long
Oh,
time.
science.
He has
is
navigator
science.
too, right? So,
Yeah.
So he's got 5 dice of science, 5 dice of wits. So
Yeah.
I have 5 dice of.
what's that?
It's a lot of dice.
That's a lot of
That's
dice.
a lot of
Plus
dice.
the one for the nav computer.
Yeah.
Right? So all in all, he's good. Okay. So it takes him about 15 minutes, which is probably about 3 times as long as it would normally take him, because you're doing a micro jump. This is going to take you just out past Kansas's orbit. Okay, and he says, "Well, that's going to have to do." Okay.
Time for Karina to kill the crew.
All right. So you lift.
Yeah.
Okay. You set power for the ship. All systems are nominal. Which is different than go. That's broken. Yeah, it's always broken. Okay. So where you are, you're in a corporate restricted zone. And Falk tells you that when you arrived here, there were very few sensors in this area, as it was a corporate reservation, right? This is where the first families and the mega corporations basically holidayed.
Nobody's looking too hard right here.
Yeah, well,
And the spy satellites are not
It's a
zoomed
no-fly
in.
zone.
yeah. It's a no-fly zone,
Technically.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you lift, basically cruise out over the water, and then, when the engines are warm, you kind of, and up you go. Okay? You guys feel sort of the same tug at the bottom of your stomachs as you always do when Judah's flying. Okay? And
What? I'm used to it by now.
And you rocket through the atmosphere. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw cards for encounters. So in the atmosphere, I'm looking for a black royalty to see whether or not you actually encounter anything. Okay.
Wow. What were the chances they were doing complete exercises right here?
A really big 7.
Okay.
Of hearts.
All right. So.
Wait, time out before we go to Caprice.
Okay.
Hey, look, Flying City. All in brothels.
Yeah. So, something similar. You're sort of rocketing out of the orbit. You are going at passive sensors because you don't want broadcasting, etc. When suddenly there is you pull up through the clouds. Okay. Suddenly there's something. Falk says, "I got something magnetic ahead of us," and as you turn away, you see floating just above the clouds. It's a gravitic station. Okay. And as you fly by it, passing within a couple hundred meters, you actually see that it seems to be the Paradise Casino. Okay?
Is it?
And there's a variety of flitters, etc., sort of lodged on it. There's a rail around the outside as you see the
Next viral
bystanders. Okay? And your ship kind of like, you give them this great upper profile as you kind of roar by.
The clouds
You can
pulling.
see the people, yeah, exactly. As you kind of pull out of the trails, the contrails. All the people on the balcony,
Slight
because you
detour,
guys
yeah.
run so
Fly
Oh, well,
close to
now
this
I have
thing.
to do this just
Yeah.
to really make it pretty.
Yeah, as you do so, you're like, oh yeah, watch this baby. And then just as you get past them, you're like, okay? And then, but what happens is, there is, you can see all the people scattering from the actual, right? And suddenly there's a radio beacon, and Falk says, apparently we're a navigational hazard. We've been reported.
Yes, we have.
We're about to
Fire
crack
video
tension
4?
anyways.
5.
5, I think.
So that was a good one. Okay. All right, so you pass by a civilian station on your way out. just parked here above the clouds, and wow, you like right past it. That'll give you a Jack 7 for you.
That's what happens when we're flying without.
Yeah, so you find yourselves now, rocking out. You can hear the radio beacon from the thing itself.
Station, yeah.
Yeah, this is Paradise Station, C-101. We have an unidentified ship which has just cruised by. It might be pirates. They're obviously panicked that perhaps they're under attack or something along that line.
Quit speculating.
Okay? And as you race towards the clouds, you swiftly leave the radio signal behind. Soon it begins to break up, as Falk says. You guys find yourselves now heading into space. The blue falls away, black turns, and ahead of you, you can see Merlin, sort of off about 30 degrees across the horizon, a gigantic armored moon, and Falk. Falk, he doesn't scan, but he is looking for signals scanning you.
Yeah, so we're just doing this all passive, I suppose.
Yes, and so what I'm going to do here is I was going to draw one, but I'm now going to draw 2 cards.
Yep.
And the reason I'm going to draw 2 cards is because...
We've been recorded.
Some attention is
There is some
drawn to
attention.
our existence, yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with a 9 of diamonds, which is nothing, and a 7 of clubs, which is also nothing. All right.
Nice cut.
Okay, so you guys rock it out. As you do so, you're able to easily make 10 diameters without encountering anything. Okay?
Yes.
Now, at this point, you'll need to make your... How have we done this before? I think it's actually an engineering check. I think it's you that's engaged the spin drive.
Yes.
Right? Because
So
there's no
the
flying in
lever.
spin, right?
Yeah.
So,
Just navigate.
but the question becomes... Normally, you don't have to... It's only the navigation that you have to do. Engaging the spin drive, there is no roll, right?
Right.
But because you're within 10 diameters, there is a roll.
Okay.
Okay? So the question is, you appear to have open sky ahead of you. Do you want to engage the spin drive early?
I say push it until...
Up to you guys.
It's almost like as if we're ready, if we encounter something, maybe we
Is
can
there
take that
any
risk.
Falk
roll?
looks at you. You gonna?
Nah.
Is there any role for my
How
fleet
far away are we
tactician
now?
in this?
What's that?
Anyway, roll for my fleet tactician in this?
Well, so
We kind of had the plan, but it's...
you have the plan, and you were prepared to do it here, but there's a risk to doing it, right? There is a mechanical risk which is unavoidable,
Yeah.
right? However, at this point, you appear to be at least untracked, right?
Yeah.
But if there's a listening post that is watching you via passive sensors, you could suddenly have a source light up directly in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So
How far are we out compared to our 10?
We're at 10.
you're at 10. So it's going to be 2 encounter cards to make it to 100. You are now doing full burn towards deep space.
Do it.
Okay.
What the fuck, right?
What the hell?
Oh, I can tell you what the hell.
Well, my dice. Yeah.
Okay, Kyle.
So, technology of 3, 5 for wits. Ship does not give me any bonuses for this.
No. So you are looking for... Okay, so it's not something you normally have to do. So normally it's 0 successes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that this is going to be 2 successes.
Okay. His Falk's 2 successes on the.
We'll give you 1 bonus dice.
Okay.
There's no way I can help.
No. There's no piloting involved here.
Feels weird. We lifted off. I haven't rolled.
You haven't had to.
1. Now, which are your skill dice?
Skill dice are my purple.
So you're going to have 2 complications.
Yeah. But
Just put it to the side.
right.
Oh, 3 successes.
And 3 complications.
And 3 complications.
All right, so I'll just take those 3 right now.
Yeah.
Still, we did it.
All right. Okay, so you guys arrive. Falk is counting off. You're looking for 65. No, you're looking for 130,000 kilometers, which is 10 diameters, right?
Yeah.
So you are, he's like 105, 115, 120, right? And then he's actually saying 135 when you're like 130. Okay. All right. Space twists, and you do a micro skip. Okay.
Boing.
So you're in skip for 2 days. Okay. You don't really have a choice. Once you engage the spin drive, you are committed to the completion of the spin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you've tried, you remember you can crash the drive and drop out of spin. You've actually done that before, which I find really interesting. But yeah, so you have now spun for 2 days. That is the expected time. Okay, so when you drop out of spin, you find yourselves now basically in deep space, sort of in a straight line into nowhere away from Liberty. Okay. So track the food and fuel, and you guys return to some modicum of normal shipboard activity, maintenance, practicing hand-to-hand combat in the cargo bay. Smoking stibless, whatever.
I just tried it once
Yeah.
this month.
Gateway drug.
Oh, I'm
All right.
sure he's already done all the good ones.
Okay, day 119, you're in the
No,
cockpit, and almost precisely on time. The vessel drops out of spin, okay, and you find yourself moving forward at heavy momentum. You are near absolutely nothing. There are Folk scans the area around you. There is no signals, no drive traces, anything. So you have all the time in the world.
Now, while we're doing our little jumps, do we want our transponder back on? Just in case we encounter things?
You remember, you cannot be in spin to change the
I know.
transponder.
Now that
just
we're
talked
out,
about-
we'll
Yeah.
re-engage. We'll re-engage the.
But do we want it back off before we hit Caprice? We're kind of on a lot of launch.
Running around through deep space, we're very unlikely to encounter someone else.
Absolutely.
So
It's only
let's,
near the gravity wells where there's any likelihood of being
Especially
spotted.
now.
we might as well just leave it off then if we're gonna not have it on when we go into Caprice.
Okay.
Okay, so the way I'm orbiting having to do multiple jumps is I'm adding a extra dice to all travel times. Okay, so normally within orbit it's going to be 1 dice. Within the same solar system it's going to be 2 dice. Within the cluster it's 3 dice. Okay, so normally, so now you're actually skipping from one planet to another planet, or from one solar system to another. So that's within this cluster, which means I'm going to be rolling 4 dice for the actual time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this would be where torch stations would be useful.
Correct.
Well, if we pass any, maybe we'll hit power station.
So, click. Okay.
Ah!
I don't know
Remember in
where
old
they
history
are.
books they used to talk about torch stations. I wonder where they are.
Okay. So
Marvin shell gleams in the...
All the more reason to go to Cambridge after.
that's right. You can get up. Theoretically, with their computer, they could be keeping stellar cartography up to date. They just have no way of disseminating it. Okay. So let's do a spin roll. Who wants to do that for Falk? It's going to be 11 dice altogether.
Ooh, that's a lot of dice.
It is his core competency. So 5 wits,
Do you wanna try out the
5
new dice?
science, and 1 for the nav computer.
Although I brought extra dice too, so I'm down.
Go for it.
Go.
Somebody, please. Anybody roll
Okay.
the dice?
Go! 5. And then?
So 11 dice?
Yes.
6 and 5, I'm assuming? I don't know.
No, it's actually 5, 5, and 1.
Okay.
He will not re-roll those, so...
What? Oh, there's 3 6s on the yellow ones. Which I was thinking in my head were ability.
Okay.
Those aren't the easiest to read.
I know.
No,
they're my
those
least
are
favorite.
horrible.
They're cool
so let's not
looking
use
There
dice.
was
those anymore.
complaints. There was complaints about those, and I gotta admit, I didn't. They're not my favorite. I was very
To heed the
disappointed.
complaints.
Yes. We redid them. In a later.
They'd be better with a black, not a gold.
Well, it's
Oh,
black.
The problem is
Mine's
there's
Try
from
coloring
mine.
in black for getting my wine.
Okay,
Black and
so your travel time would normally be
Lighter
12
silver.
days.
10 days.
From that, we subtract 2 days because of the extra successes.
gold. Yep.
Cool.
And then from that, we subtract Marvin's modifications. So every 6 days reduced to 5 days. So your 10 days were reduced to 5. Or to 9.
9, yep.
Cobain.
Shabby.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's not right. So it's 12 days in jump. Marvin's modifications happen first.
So that
12
takes
becomes 10.
10.
2 extra successes becomes 8.
8.
So cross off the fuel and food.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, that was very fast.
What's that? Yeah, no. Well, apparently folks been here before. Hey, let me just call up my old codes. Oh, yeah, they still work. Okay. All right. So
We don't know he's been dropping out beacons.
a little cut and paste. Yeah. Okay. You drop out around 80 diameters from Caprice itself. Okay.
Close.
Yeah, yeah. Normal. This is sort of a normal slip drive,
No.
spin drive. So when you drop out, your experience previously in Caprice space has been a space of incredibly dense radio traffic. And if you recall, the first time you ever came to Caprice, as soon as you arrived in orbit, there were advertisements for everything. Okay? When you drop out, Falk on the sensors, he says, well, okay, good news and bad news. So I'm picking up some radio signals. Most of it seems to be encrypted. But all of the major stations are offline.
Ooh. Nothing from traffic control or...
I got nothing from traffic control. I'm also noting several emergency beacons on which they look like modified salvage beacons for ships or hulks in orbit.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they would have been there from the beginning.
No, they're modified to salvage beacons, which means somebody's
They're modified salvage beacons.
a modified salvage beacons. Okay.
This big ship's probably just bit the dust entirely, and somebody's just duct taped something to the side of them to say, "Look out! Don't crash into me."
Yeah, so these are their navigational warnings.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously someone has enough peace of mind or enough presence of mind to actually chart navigational hazards around the planet. What that means for what's actually happening on the planet, you have no idea.
So we're your transponder off, right?
Yes, we are.
So we're going to want to approach quietly and listen for a bit. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay. What's a bit?
How long does it take for? How close do we have to get? And how long does it take to have a scan of Gamora?
Well, so
With
by
our
scan,
sensors?
you don't have Star Trek sensors, right?
No.
So what your senses will do is it will allow you to detect heat, magnetic anomalies, things like that, radar, flying craft, all of those things.
I was thinking radio sources,
Yeah.
Infrared, like heat sources. Would be
The
great.
longer you take, the more information folks going to be able to read back to you.
Okay.
What does it take to decrypt
Thinking
the
it-
radio things?
Days, weeks.
Depends on how encrypted they are.
Because he'd be dying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a day. Would that give an idea of like if the hub is awash in radio signals and radar pings?
That
And
might
stuff like
give
that
folks an
versus-
idea of if there are patrol frigates
Yeah.
or
If there's any like fusion stations running, we should be able to catch
you might
them,
be
I guess,
able
in
to
a
see
day.
how
All right.
legitimate.
So you're going to need to
traffic
put yourself in
shapes are or
orbit around the planet in order
Yeah.
to detect those things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're cool with that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
assuming
okay.
a higher orbit.
I have no transponder on.
There's
so
lots
just
of
jump.
dead hulks anyway.
Right,
So.
okay, so you drift in, make some attitude adjustments, and put yourselves into orbit. In doing so, there's really no, this is not challenging flying, so there's no roll necessary. You do, however, there are several areas where you have a choice in orbit. There are several hulks nearby where theoretically their magnetic presence
Will
would
block
shield
ours.
you, right, to a certain extent. Or you can put yourself just into a clear orbit and avoid any possibility of running into something.
Nah, I like the idea of using a Hulk as a umbrella.
That seems our style.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I will need a piloting roll to tuck yourself into something big and out of the way.
And I get my 2 for my... Yeah.
Star Destroyer right there.
Nothing
Wish it
but
wasn't so fast.
What's that?
4 for agility, 3 for piloting, 2 for ship.
Yes, two for your for your, what do you call it, talent.
It's still purple. Yeah.
Yep, still there. Do you want some dice?
Purples can get re-rolled. That's only one consequence, right?
Yep.
Did you set aside a yes? Okay, do it.
Evil little freaking dice. There's a success.
And that's
So is there
A purple one.
warranty with those dice?
So the purple one are your skill dice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just the one.
Okay. All right.
Evil monsters.
Okay, so you come in and tuck yourself under an old Ling Standard Products bulk carrier. From here, you can see the bulk carrier is basically like a spine, and underneath it are all the standard cargo containers. Right? It's like it can't drop into, it can't land on the planet.
Yeah, purely orbital.
Correct. And as you kind of push your way in, you actually nudge like one of the bulk containers out of the way because some of them have drifted loose from their magnetic moorings, and so the ship itself is sort of, it's haphazardly with with these storage containers hanging off, etc.
So it's more they're all in the same orbit than they're all together.
Yeah, you're pretty sure they're not actually tethered in any way. Okay, they just happen to be flying in the same direction.
Off.
Yeah,
they all have the same orbit.
It's always just going sideways instead of down, and just ruining more days.
So after it's moments after you tuck yourself in, and Falk says, "I'm registering some active sensor signatures coming up on the orbit." And sure enough, you guys sort of stand over him. He's watching the scope. You see a pair of some things, but emitting active LiDAR, radar, basically circling the planet. They are in orbit, and
Transponders?
they bear no transponders.
So we don't stand out at least.
Nope.
Okay.
What are you talking about? We're just a shipping container.
And as you pass over them, their radar definitely touches you.
But
we're in the midst of a bunch of debris.
Correct.
So whatever.
We're a shipping
we
container.
are one radar blip amongst a cloud of radar
All right.
blips.
So go ahead.
And do we pick up any radio signals or communication unencrypted from the surface?
Well, if Falk turns you, he says, "Okay, we just arrived.
Give him some time.
Okay.
Why don't you go do doctoring things?
Go clean your weapons.
Okay. Yeah, and so he begins to monitor and trace and log.
Now, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a location on Caprice
Yes.
that
Where
your
is
stuff's
the
at?
Paragus 17 production take place? I'm guessing more towards the south than Gamora Hub, but I don't know that.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. That's not what's going on. No, we're.
I
Well, I
know,
know, but I
but
got
we're doing two
plan-
things at
Oh,
once.
We're
okay,
doing
right.
three
Yeah,
things
yeah,
at
yeah,
once.
yeah.
We're not going to come to
Right.
Caprice and not do all the things.
Yeah.
Three
We're
things
doing
at
all
once.
the things.
Yeah.
Retrieve Zyrko stuff.
Yes.
Fix Marvin.
Yes.
Who's Marvin? Oh, the robot? How cute. And retrieve
Yeah.
Paragus 17 production equipment.
All right. So you find yourselves in orbit, and another day passes.
Yeah.
During that day, actually, my apologies. Falk is ready for a preliminary report after about 4 hours. Okay, or he can continue to give you the full report the next day.
Let's take
We'd
a
wanna know.
preliminary.
We'd
Okay,
wanna
it's
know.
one or the other, right?
Oh.
So I assume that whenever he gives you the report, whatever one he gives you, you're ready to act.
We should give the full report
Full
because
report.
we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on this.
Plus,
Do I
the,
know
plus the
where-
full day break means we get to recover our things.
Yes.
Do
you
I know
cover your
where I have to
things.
go for Paragon 17 production equipment, or do I have to do
Is
research?
that relevant to answering the question whether you take the full
We're
or
taking the full
preliminary?
day report.
We're taking a full day report.
No, I guess not.
Okay, fair enough. So you take the full day report. The next day, you're doing some research to find out exactly where this is. You've never been to Gamora before. So you're searching the IRS, which is, well, not exactly complete. So you can go ahead and make a Wits plus Observation, is it called?
It is observation, yeah.
Yep, Wits plus Observation. You can take 2 penalty dice, please. Please do not use your yellow dice.
No.
In order to keep this IRS up, please donate.
If everyone
The way penalty
donated
dice works
$1.
is bonus dice, only 6s count. Penalty dice,
dice,
only
only
1s
ones
count.
a 6 and a 5 on the penalty dice,
Okay, so those don't matter.
1 on the skill dice, and a bunch of 5s on
So
that.
you
So
get
I'm going to push it.
Okay,
So
good.
the 1 on the skill dice doesn't count.
You get to
against
reroll
it.
Right, you get to
You
reroll.
reroll it. The penalty dice
Are
are
not
done.
reroll.
Okay. Set them aside. There's a
Go.
6.
Okay, that's all you need. Okay.
Got there.
What was the name of the company that manufactured that Caprice?
You're going to make me look it up. Or did I write it down? No, I have to look.
No, it'll be in the email or whatever.
Yeah, which I did print out for this precise reason.
Ah.
I didn't have it open in at hand.
I really need to get a binder for
It's Caprice Essex Com Chemicals.
Essex Con.
Yeah, Essex/Com Chemicals.
Right. Okay.
They do not sound like a manufacturer. They sound like a chemical manufacturer.
Yep.
That's manufacturer.
Yeah, and their manufacturing is in the Paladin lots.
Okay, so it's
Not so bad.
Not so bad.
We've been there before.
We
We've
can
been to a
even
lot.
take the maglev there.
What Maglev?
EMP.
Yeah.
We've
Oh,
been waiting at the station for a while.
Oh.
that's a lot more people dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Steel
That wasn't
Rain.
us. That was Steel Rain. See, I told you AIs are dangerous. I mean, I didn't. The ghost of Crane pops up. AIs are dangerous. It fades away.
And how often have I been saying that?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys find
It gives you a
yourselves
virtual
after a day. Falk, you can see him. He's sitting, sort of leaning back in his chair, recording. He's got the ball. He's bouncing it off the windshield. Right.
No,
Oh.
he's not. This is why I was given this.
Okay.
And he brings out
And he
another.
pulls out another one. Because we haven't done this before.
Okay. Yeah.
Fever in space.
Yeah. So
What are you guys talking about?
he. What he'll do then is after he's done, he actually takes some printouts, etc., and like the data pad, and he meets you guys all in the mess. And on the table, he kind of sets it out. He gives you some fairly dire news. He says, Gamora's dead. There's some fusion reactors going, and I'm picking up some warmth and electrical activity, but not much, like very little. Most of the city is dark. Maglevs aren't running. The spaceport is a crater. There's nothing left. It looks like it was hit by a couple of small, low-yield tactical nukes or something along that line.
Probably a couple of small ships coming in that lost.
Oh, if they're going to land and then all things go away.
Well, they
I am
tried to
picking up
seize
also radio traffic across the planet from surface stations. So
Well, they did have the best-ish chance to survive.
Yeah.
So
Everyone
there,
else
it would
had
appear
the
that a lot of the
assumption.
surface dwellers have survived. A lot of their traffic's about the same, looking for supplies, looking to trade water, looking to trade fuel. So it looks like they're in bad shape. A lot of that stuff probably would have come for them from the maglev stations. That said, the northern and the southern maglevs are still running, but not within 100 kilometers of the city itself.
So it's sort of like outside the trench, the surface stuff, right?
Yeah, the
Right.
surface
Like
ones.
North Tachyon Hub.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that I crashed at.
And also over to the Sigma Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
Vegas Starport's the one that's cratered, right?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing left. Like, he shows you pictures of it, and sure enough, like, you think, oh, that is not a starship crash. That is definitely a weapon strike.
oh yeah,
Oh, interesting.
Well, there was mutiny or something going on there.
yeah. There was a few things going on there after the EMP.
I was able to pick up a few traces. There, something's in patrol over the planet. They're about 1,000 tons apiece. There's a pair of them, and they're basically just sitting in orbit. I have no idea. They're basically flying tandem, meaning that we have a window to get past them to make it to the planet. They haven't engaged anything else in the last 24 hours, so I don't know what their purpose is. There's also a variety of ships, smaller ships. Looks to be skiffs or cutters. Seem to be salvaging some of the ships from orbit. So they have communication between them. I've picked up some stuff, but it's all, it's like Belter stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're telling us, like they're draining fuel out of the ships, et cetera, et cetera. They haven't received any fuel shipments for a while, it seems, because
Yeah.
they're all begging for fuel.
That's going to be a problem because if you make water into fuel and people need water, ooh.
Hey, look, even in space, water.
Well,
most
it's
important
liquid
thing.
hydrogen that they're after.
Yeah,
So, theoretically they could crack it into hydrocarbons if they needed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would require some processing, which would require some
I would
power.
I would estimate that the surface population is less than 1 million.
Aye. Wow.
Oops.
Bit of a drop.
So yeah, so that's just
And
keeping a running
dropping as
tally
they're
here. That you
dying.
can add 34 to it, and it
You
sounds like a lot of them are in pretty bad shape.
probably won't make it through another
Yeah.
couple of cycles.
I've tried radio frequencies for the people that we knew on the planet, Bazo from Liberati, Salazar, but we pretty sure
Yeah.
he was dead.
Yeah.
I even reached out on Penrose channels to see if there's anything there, but nothing.
Yeah, Penrose is gone.
It is it's
Nothing
black
out
as pitch.
I wonder.
So
No,
the
it just-
trench itself, there are some areas which are basically just black zones. So my guess is that we shouldn't have too many troubles. There are some power sources around Paladin lots, which might not fare too well. It might not go too well for us, but yeah, the rest of the place, like I said, a lot of the it would appear that a lot of the mechanical conveyances are in, or a lot of these fusion reactors are actually in old gray zones.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
probably places where they had to deal with.
This beforehand.
Yeah.
And living off the grid.
Yeah. So question I have as a player, not Hato, is one of our objectives is Marvin parts. Did we have specific parts?
Not so much Marvin parts as
It's a
Marvin
download.
himself.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's download.
So he says,
Marvin
now
data.
listen,
I don't know anything.
do you have any questions? Because I've been up 24 hours and
No.
I'll be honest with you, this is just depressed the fuck out of me, so I'm going to go have a few drinks and then...
Catch some sleep, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking.
So for the first time, it kind of, Falk has always been kind of a, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, more interested in drone combat than, you know, any type of serious politics.
Mm-hmm.
He spent, the last 24 hours listening to cries for help and trying to pick up any sign that any part of the life that he had experienced here on Caprice is still existent, to which he has found nothing.
Almost tempted to add
Oh,
a fourth location to.
yeah, lastly, most of the atmospheric processes are offline, so we're going to need compression suits and respirators.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere is thin, but it hasn't been processed, so we're going to need to add oxygen in order to be able to breathe. Yeah, and so he then kind of taps the hull door and disappears into the rest of the ship.
What's the fourth spot you're thinking of?
No, I'm just wondering if Penrose had anything interesting hidden in his
Compound.
mansion.
Fortress of Solitude.
Like my arm.
I'll add it to
Yeah.
the list.
It'd be funny if they left it behind.
Well, he was ground zero for the EMP because the EMP was right in the center of downtown.
right.
Yeah.
And he was
To
overlooking
rebuild the arm from scratch. To redo all
that.
the-
Right?
Oh, but it was probably offline.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but if you recall correctly, your original arm was EMP resistant.
Yes, it was.
Oh, nice. Huh.
Got
Well-
you. Let's go.
It's
Hey.
Well,
How
I
many
mean,
how many seats
less
were in the
than a
spider
million
car? Was it just like a 1 or 2 or something?
4.
4. All right.
But the spider car won't get us where we need to go.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking we have a few different things because
Yes, on
Marvin's
your
backup
right,
is
right?
at the secret site on the far side of the planet or whatever, isn't it? Is that where we're at? Like,
No, Marvin's backup, he actually backed himself up to a database inside of Gamora.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I was parked in
We were parked down here.
the Red
down here
Devil's
Yeah,
lot.
in Embry.
Yeah, you were parked in the Thought Arm.
Yeah, Thought Arm.
Thought Arm, which is just inside.
But do we know where? Because it's the servers are gonna be offline. Would we know where we have to go to?
No, but Folk could probably find it.
Okay.
I'm Folkwood.
Because in my mind, like that maybe is less trouble, and then we maybe have a chance of
To
getting
survey.
our friend back, and because like
Yeah.
a lot of our other things, like I don't know if we're up in Gomorrah Hub or if we start yakking with people in Paladin lots or
We
whatever.
don't know what we're getting into.
We don't know what we're getting into for those things, so we kind of need to like prioritize the least
Paladin
risk.
Lot's least because we're going to get Paragon 7 from Zyrko.
Yeah. Yeah, so good if we all die.
Plus, Paladin Lots is
trying to
probably
get
the riskiest.
manufacturers.
Although Hunter would say that's that's a close second. But yeah, number one is definitely Gamora Hub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash.
Well, he has no
That
idea
gets
why
right.
we all want to
Yeah.
go down to the Fahad Arm and whatever.
Yeah.
Is any of the
Or
Magma
to
looking
Paladin.
at that?
No.
No.
Inside the trench, the magmas
so-
are all offline.
Oh, okay, so it's just further down.
Yeah, like outside.
Or is it like the Vega? Probably nobody's using the starport.
But more like the North
The
Tachyon.
starport's been nuked.
Yeah.
And then
So
I'm
definitely
guessing
no
like
one's
maybe
using it.
along here, I don't
Yeah.
know, or further away.
Yeah.
Because the Maglev went pretty far outside the trench too.
Yeah,
It
remember
almost-
the EMP actually detonated inside of the trench itself.
Yeah.
Right.
pretty much everything. And they seem to recall is around there, right near Babylon Summit. So
Yeah, that's my thought for priority. Is
makes sense.
Gamora.
Marvin.
Or
I think
Marvin,
so.
Gamora.
Penrose is on the way to
Yeah.
Gamora Hub.
That could be
Or
potentially a
Paladin.
lot of trouble, or maybe it's just a ghost town. Who knows?
Or it's
Yeah.
a place to go to first for really good suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's head to Fallen Arm and see if we can't
All right.
find Marvin.
So, question for you: are you going to avoid the orbiting?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We don't know
two
what they
giant
are, so
sharks
let's not
that are
find out.
cruising around.
Okay.
I would love to know what they are, but I don't want to
1,000
find out
tons
up
a
close. Don't want to find out.
Yeah, 1,000 tons. He wasn't able to tell you much more than that.
That's
so.
big.
That's big for still operational.
That's the
Yeah.
big,
So the
is that
biggest
largest?
biggest ship that you've seen still operational was 5K.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Huh.
that is the largest ship still operational.
How would
So-
that big be still?
what's that?
How would that big of a ship be?
Must have just been
still
manufactured more recently.
So no.
older.
Yeah. So what happened? So for ships, the first capital ship starts at 10K, and those ships are all offline.
Yeah.
And it's at that point where you have multiple systems required for the ship to move, et cetera,
Right.
et cetera. So it's those ships, and also those ships that require more intelligence to make the spin drives work.
Yeah, I calculate all the
5,000 and below are basically considered to be small vessels,
Right.
right?
I'm assuming that's the limit where you have to have multiple spins that
Correct.
coordinate to jump one ship versus one.
Yeah, it's multiple drives at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, multiple drives, multiple maneuver drives, multiple gravitic cores,
Which required a certain level of processing, which
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore.
for some reason.
Okay.
Some reason.
Okay. So you guys find yourselves. So you're headed to the Fought Arm, and you're going to try and avoid these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are timing them. Caprice is not a huge planet. Okay. And which means that their orbits actually happen about every 15 to 18 minutes.
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, it's a small
I also
planet.
assume we're going to let folks rest a bit.
Are you?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's got skills to back up his?
Science is the skill.
I can.
I have science. I don't have 5 dice in science.
He doesn't have 5 dice either. He has
Oh,
3, but
that's
then
right.
Navigator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
And
got.
this isn't navigating. This is
I don't
just
have
scanning.
navigator though.
No. And Data Gin is the
Yeah.
sensors.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
I can.
You can data gen.
I can data gen.
Yeah.
And my science is not bad.
Yeah. So science is what you need for the spinning. Data Gin is what you need for the sensors.
Okay, so I can give the sensors a try.
Okay.
Right.
Well, he's got the schedules actually charted in the
Okay.
calendar, right? So he's already done the roll.
Okay.
Okay. So using that schedule, you can attempt to make a dash for the planet, but it's going to be a high G burn to do so.
Hurrah!
Do you want to look for Lee's scrapyard? Lee's have the
No.
best noodles.
No.
No, Lee
And the
died.
most blood
What?
stains.
Lee's
Yeah.
dead.
He was killed by him
Yeah, I know.
in Dread.
Yeah.
He was saved from the horror of the
Was
dissonance
it
and the
you or
collapse
Dread?
of all of them.
Or was it you? It was you.
No, it was on my command, but it was, I think, actually
I
Tank.
thought no, you did the shooting.
I rolled for them. I wasn't actually
That's
my
right.
character.
Yeah.
I think it was Tank with the.
Yeah, back when we had a
I think it
full
was
crew.
you. You're a cold-blooded killer of civilians.
I am.
And Lee was our
Yeah,
friend.
well, I think, if you're talking about civilians, I think you could probably all take a check mark there.
Not Dr. Hunter Jaeger.
Okay.
His conscience.
This may
we're
actually
talking about your
reevaluate
secret
our
medical
motivations
experiments.
as we're now feeling very, very guilty.
Okay, let's do let's do but question for you. Would you have chosen something different if you knew that this was the devastation that was going to follow?
As in not releasing the dissonance key?
Yeah.
No. At least not for me, anyhow.
No.
Well, that because we kind of knew it was either a lifetime
live
of
free or
slavery
die.
for humans, or
Okay, do it.
this was
Make
the
your
only
piloting check,
chance
please.
of-
I was just saying who killed him.
They were going to try and take the ship. I didn't want them to take the ship.
2 successes.
All right.
And no ones. Look at that.
Yep.
All right, so you,
Nice.
the ship leaps out from behind the clutter. As soon as you sort of venture past their sensor range, they kind of hit the horizon, where you are cloaked by a certain amount by the transparency, not the transparency, the opacity of the atmosphere, as thin as it is, and then suddenly you rocket towards the surface. What that means is your ship makes a meteoric descent.
Again.
This is the
Usual.
a standard operating
know
procedure.
how?
Yeah, descent.
I don't know how to get to
Well, you can't
planet.
remember really. The thing about it is, this is a thin atmosphere, right? So it's not like you leave like this gigantic burning streak across the sky. In fact, the atmosphere gives you very little resistance. When you actually start getting buffeting, you're a mere couple of kilometers above the ground. Okay. As you do so, you zoom over the geologically unusual planet. All the spires and sort of these visas out in the thin atmosphere.
Okay.
Sure enough, from here you can see you approach the city from the north. What's that?
Capitals. Murdered Lang. Don't have who, just murder.
Okay. And so you are approaching from the north, and you can see the monorails, and eventually ahead of you, you can see the trench. Now, the trench is a little bit unusual to you because every time you've approached it before, there's like this light pollution which has sort of come out of it, giving it the view that it looked like an actual gigantic cat's eye from space.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's dark, for a moment you're actually there it is, right?
We're going to hell.
Okay.
Already there? But
Yeah, so you fly over it. Some of the buildings on the lip of the actual canyon have apparently fallen in. You can see twisted struts and wreckage. The gravitic plates required to make some of these sort of taller features long since failed, and the gravity of the planet's actually taken hold. As you go down farther, you can see that there obviously was some form of struggle here, sort of death throes. Okay, there are a lot of places that where you can see there's plasma fires and detonated or scrammed fusion reactors. The gigantic atmospheric processor, the fans, they lie sort of still, which you've never seen before. And all in all, the place is just, it's a ghost town. The places are littered with flitters and cutters, carriers, sort of parked haphazardly in different directions.
except for the one flitter that's probably still going.
Yeah, it's still going.
Goodbye, Reginder.
You might have saved Virginia.
Or at least his taxi.
His taxi.
I saved his taxi.
And so as you sort of cruise down here, of course, there are 0 navigational beacons, right? So normally it kind of all comes up in a augmented reality, and you're kind of like a thought arm, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now you're actually navigating by radar and by geological. It's like, I remember that from the thought arm, that outcropping of rock.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, you come to the shelf, which is the thought arm. Okay. If you recall, this was sort of a lower area of town, which still housed several disused starport facilities. Okay, which made the Red Devils easy to find themselves a place which was deserted and etc. And the Red Devils port itself lies here, although it is completely deserted. There are no starships actually parked here. However,
Faint graffiti left of whatever it was coming. What was it?
What did he have? The other
The
robots
painting
spray painted.
the part of the uprising, remember?
the Liberati?
No. I remember it because I plugged Marvin in and it started awareness.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but it was a fake awareness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you kind of cruise over, you kick on the searchlights from your vessel, and it kind of points out through the hazy dust. The other thing the atmospheric processors did as well is they removed a lot of the corruption from it.
Yeah.
The air is hazy, meaning that even with your bright lights on, you can kind of see the landing pads, but as you kind of creep closer, you now can see the back wall, and along the back wall, you see the first of the dead. People who, they lie sort of canted in positions, several of them sort of clutching at their necks as if trying to somehow save themselves from strangulation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a ton of people just died of asphyxiation or whatever when
Oxygen
Around
30
deprivation.
million,
So just went to sleep.
That's all they did. They went to sleep.
Okay, so
It
question
doesn't
for you.
look like it.
Yeah, what do you do?
So, where do we know where he backed himself up to?
Somewhere inside of the Red Devil facility.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to go land
Let's
ourselves
go
at the
survey the
at the Red Devil facility and
Okay.
see if we can't find anything.
All right. Okay. So the docking bay that you were previously docked in is strangely deserted, and so you land yourself there. The scorch marks. Is this? No. Yeah, you guys actually. There was gunfire here, right?
Yeah, because because when we plugged Marvin in, he got all the other droids or whatnot to go a little nuts.
No, he just reported a robot uprising.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Ellis
He did
was
that
on
to
the
protect
way.
the ship,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But that was somewhere else, wasn't it?
No, that was
No,
there.
that was here.
Okay. And so you actually see sort of like the old scar marks from the gunfire that took place here as you dock the ship. As you do so, there is you kick up clouds of this dust,
Yeah.
and in the lights you can see more bodies just sort of scattered. The doorway lies open, and beyond that you can also see bodies in the passageways beyond.
Graveyard world.
Okay.
It's kind
What
of sad
happened
reading
here?
this.
What's that?
It's kind of sad reading this.
Because all those people are dead now.
Salazar's cafe was blown up. It's when Falcon, when she was going by Ariadne, was arrested. And
No, there's a lot that happened at Caprice.
robot uprisings now singing the Flight of the Conchords, the humans are dead
well, his
song.
package was
Yeah.
in
Do you know
Embry
that one?
Heights.
Ding dong, humans are dead. All right.
I
So
don't actually have what the message was.
all right. So let's get back to where you are.
Yeah.
You've docked, and the ship settles. As you do so, you begin your power down checks. Rika sort of comes to the bridge and she says, "I take it you'll need me on standby." All right.
Yeah.
All right. So she grabs some coffee from the mess and comes back to the thing. You notice that she brings with her a book.
It'd be a fun thing to do every time we get to Planet Side, find her more books.
Okay. And she
She
says,
likes
"How long do you think you
comics.
guys are going to be gone?"
Hopefully not long, but
This should be just a quick
Okay.
grab.
Data retrieval mission.
So Falk says, "Okay, so set your hailers to this frequency. The encryptor's online."
And then he needs to sleep.
I thought we were gonna sleep in orbit.
Nope. You
No?
guys made it to
No?
the planet. He was going to volunteer to do the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
discovery as necessary.
Right.
Falcon's sleeping.
Yeah. So if you find the data core, let me know. It's going to have to be large.
All right.
Suit up.
yeah.
All right.
There's still atmospheric pressure, right? Because they're in the trench.
Correct. You don't need vac suits. Okay. You need
Those breathers.
you
right?
need rebreathers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rebreathers actually have concentrated oxygen. That first off reprocess everything that you do,
Yeah.
but then add oxygen as necessary. The atmosphere is going to be, because there's no the air processing. Also, like, it's not cold or anything here. It's the same temperature as it's always been. It's just, it's now you can go out there without, but you're gonna need something to breathe with.
Yeah. So rebreathers all around.
Okay.
Is there a cool El Camino rebreather that's been left abandoned over in this bunk? It's like, hey,
No.
No, he always carried that with him.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Case.
He did.
He
He
did.
did.
Okay. Okay.
You may find something purple crashed out there, though.
Yeah.
Or some Red Devil stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of Red Devil stuff.
All
We
right.
are
So,
Times have we
clothing. Obviously, warm clothing.
there.
Yeah.
Armor.
Okay. Vests.
Vests.
Rebreathers.
Yeah.
What are you taking for weapons, etc.?
All the
Everything I can
weapons.
carry.
I don't think we're too concerned about customs.
No.
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 Strangely, no.
No, I would want to be armed for bear just because who knows
Yeah.
what we're going to meet because it's going to be desperate people, right?
I have a charged PDW and a Gauss pistol, so yeah, all the weapons.
Yeah, I'm going
And a
charge
medic
pistol
kit.
and splinter gun, grade grenades.
Yeah.
Huge.
The huge.
I have some rifle, but I don't know what type, and I've got nothing written down.
That charged PDW is like a submachine gun or something, right? Or
Yeah, so it's
You were
about this
running
long.
like
yeah. Bullpup
Gauss
configuration kind of
rifle or
thing.
something, right?
I
You
got
like
Vector
something like a
submachine gun or
Gauss
something like that.
carbine, I think.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah, I
to
have
me.
nothing written down for it.
What's
Just rifles, all I've got.
Juda's usually rocking like a Gauss carbine, I think. Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree. Okay.
So I'll have my gyro pistol and
I think she needs
slug
numbers for
carbine.
the Gauss
I've actually seen a
carbine.
gyro pistol now. There's actually YouTube videos of firing of an actual gyrojet gun.
What?
Yeah.
It is super cool.
Huh.
They actually manufactured them just after like the Korean War
Yeah.
as a possible replacement for cartridged weapons.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Huh.
I knew they were
weird.
actually
They're an actual
made.
weapon,
I've
yeah.
never.
Huh.
Yeah.
I know, like H&K made some sort of future tech weapon where like the rounds were all in, like
Caseless?
square. Yeah, maybe they were
Yeah,
caseless or something. It was
caseless,
like
yeah.
they were like
They're out of
shaped
a block
charges
or
that were
something.
Yeah,
like
that was that the G11? I think. Yeah.
maybe
But-
I don't know. I
anyhow,
remember
whatever.
like seeing it in a history book as a kid or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it was like 4.7 millimeter. 4.7 millimeter.
Oh, they're that small,
It-
huh?
well, because the
They're like-
rifle round came at like 1,200 meters per second. It was super fast, right?
Huh. It's kind of like a similar idea to MP7 or whatever. Where it's just a tiny little
Yeah. Okay.
high velocity.
So you guys, so you lower the docking bays.
Mm-hmm.
Falk is in his bunk, basically getting some rack time, but he's available if you need him. And Rika, or Ari,
Yeah, that's right. Ari.
is up on the deck, basically waiting for your signal. Okay? And reading a book. Because that's what you do when you're on watch. This used to be your job.
Yeah.
This has been the most helpful thing that Rika has done. Taking over the backup pilot job.
You know what, Judah? I think you said this is your first time out of the ship on Caprice in a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. You've only ever gone carousing on Caprice. You've never actually gone on a
No,
mission.
I did because I had 2 botches the 2 times I left the ship,
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
had the chase scene with the robot,
All right.
and then I had the crash down on the
The
surface,
surface.
and I've been on the surface when we went to the secret facility as well. I
Yeah.
have not actually gotten to leave.
You haven't been
in-
out and about in Gamora.
Oh no,
much.
we did.
We-
That was
we-
our first viral video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were
Yeah.
we doing? We were looking for some. We were looking for something.
I don't know,
someone.
but
I think you were looking
We were
for.
down on the lower levels.
Yeah.
and-
I
Alright, that
really
was the
should
robot.
leave the ship, though, is what it comes down to.
You want to stay on the ship?
No.
Okay. All right. So, taking your weapons and some lamps, you head out.
Oh, my
That's-
bypass kit too. Of course.
Yeah, bypass. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing you notice, by the way, is without power, it's dark in the canyon. The starshine and the Atlas's blue light does not reach down this far. If you recall, Atlas's light only reached into the canyon about 3 or 4 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And it's not those 3 or 4 minutes at this point.
Yeah, because even
Okay?
here we're
Well, I've got
We're kinda
my
far down.
totally awesome
Yeah.
goggles. So.
Same. So.
Yeah. So as you sort of head out, the light sort of pierces this. The first thing you should know is as soon as you go to infrared, what occurs is all of the ambient temperature is the same,
Yeah.
and it's highly cloudy in the air.
So
you're
infrared doesn't help.
no, you can see maybe 10 meters or so. Okay.
Is thermographic infrared?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there more what?
Is thermographic infrared?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you kind of look out, everything's the same temperature, and with this muck in the air, it limits your view to almost nothing. Okay.
So standard.
Well, even invisible light,
Yeah.
so there's no advantage to it,
Okay.
right? But as you sort of peer out with the lights, you can't see much farther than that anyhow. But it's in your visible light range,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I'm so glad I brought my splinter gun.
Keep this around
I
for
kind of
no
just want
sim
shotgun.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want shotgun.
well.
No face
Ponto
huggers.
will,
That's what a splinter gun is, except it's a Gauss version of a check out.
So when we leave, Honto will go up to the first nearby body and sort of examine it
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so
somberly.
although some of the people obviously died of sort of a immediate asphyxiation, a lot of the people, as soon as you get into the corridors, just reams of people here. You know,
Yeah.
like you see in the first 100 meters, you see about 20 people or so who have basically in the fetal position, right?
Yeah.
You kind of roll them over. They've died from asphyxiation. They're surrounded by discharged respirator masks, etc.
Yeah.
Their supplies just didn't last.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you see no life? Okay. You head to the first corridor. As you do so, you guys remember this from when you were here with the Red Devils. You were off the ship a few times, and you do recall that the Red Devils had sort of a headquarters-like area where they had done quite a bit of. Remember, they had taken over this area from the real proprietors, and that area had sort of a computer interface. Sure enough, your technician, you follow the cables, the umbilicals from the ship itself, and they all seem to lead to sort of this core area. The area itself is almost like a warehouse out front, although there's very little, like there's some empty barrels, etc. You can spend some looking if you want, but at the far side there is a steel staircase leading up to an elevated area. Within looks to be some sort of administration facility.
I guess we'll head that.
Yeah.
Seems as likely as any.
Okay.
Am I able to do any sort of survey, like just how dead is it? Is there like anoxic bacteria or any? Doesn't matter. We'll find out.
Okay. What's the question you're asking?
I'm thinking if there's like any sort of research lab that was working on weird things that might have survived in a low oxygen
So
environment.
the first thing as well is the bodies themselves are actually relatively well preserved.
Yeah.
The air is basically oxygen free.
Yeah.
And so they haven't really started to decompose. In fact, they started to desiccate rather than to actually decompose.
So we're seeing signs of modification.
It's all
That's
tetanus
kind
and
of where I was going.
botulism.
Yeah, which means it's unlikely we're going to find some strange medical experiment come unlikely, but
Unlikely.
possible.
Shuttergun.
Just had to say it, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Zombies in space.
It's a graveyard realm.
What's the
Stuff
next
not
one?
to think about.
Was it zombie Nazis? Nazi zombies from space?
Zombies from space. Yeah.
All right. So you find this administration area.
Yeah.
You slowly climb the stairs. Sure enough, these cables, the umbilicals, all come here. And inside, you see what appears to be like a round cylinder, which was a computer core. Spivey, you crack open the case on it. Normally, it's like a touch and it kind of right. For you, it's like right. And you kind of pry it open. Inside, you can see damage from the electrical impulse. These obviously shorted out. However, like a lot of systems, they actually have like a resin backup farther down in the actual case itself.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the more expensive components look to have been damaged by the actual EMP itself.
Is there enough?
Guess you'll have to make a technician's roll
Yep.
to find out.
Will do.
Now, do you have salvage or anything like that?
I do.
Excellent.
Nice.
I only have 6 dice for that, so.
So yes, scavenger +2 to recover components.
Oh, look at that. Roll an extra couple of dice. And now you also have a toolkit, do you not?
I do.
So add a dice for that. But that's a different color.
I am.
It was yellow.
Okay. What is it with you guys?
You see how many dice we're rolling?
2 successes.
Dice lunch.
Okay. All right. So you pull these devices out. What they are is these are basically a component written to metal inside of a resin core on a periodic basis, and then disconnected from electricity. So they're fired up, backed up to, and then disconnected. And the purpose behind that is to shield them from overload within the system itself. Okay. Like for example, not for example an EMP, but faulty electrical or anything like that.
Yeah.
And if you recall, Caprice's
Electrical grid was touchy at best.
dodgy, right? Especially in some of these grayer areas. So this is not an uncommon thing. You pull out 2 sleeves of these storage units, each of them about the length of a man's arm. Yeah, exactly.
That's why we have those funky slings, right?
Okay. So this would have been the first large data area where
Marvin could
have backed himself up to.
Is there any logical place that we can see, find, follow more cords to a secondary? Because he may have hidden himself.
He might have, and the most likely place to recover that information from would be from
On
the
these
actual
cores?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Alright.
Which means I need to get them back, we need to power them up, and we need to see what we can get.
Well, we got but Falk is probably the guy for a lot of that. He's resting at the
But he
moment.
needs...
Yeah.
Well, we've
8
been out for a
hours,
little while
10.
finding the stuff. We've turned over a few dead
Absolutely.
bodies and everything. So
Plus he was sleeping when we came
came
down.
down. Yeah, there's been a few
Carts
hours.
and all that jazz.
Yeah, all that stuff takes time.
Okay.
I always give him stems.
Which he'd love.
I'm a doctor.
Having a proper doctor, do we have a lessening effect for the crash after stems? Like, can he help give us a cocktail to...
Yeah, so the stims that you have, the combat stims that you've been using are actually pre-measured stims, right? So they are what they are, right?
Nothing but
But now, could I make a personal, customized cocktail based on their individual?
The fact that, you know, I'm
with the same equipment
2/3
you
the
used to
size.
manufacture Perogen 17.
I filed that away for the next time we're prioritizing mission objectives. Well, you know,
It's just like, what,
I can
2/3 the
also
size
use it
of,
to-
Alright, so-
bread, taking the same stems? Like,
Bodies, dust, darkness.
Yeah.
That is what you find in the Red Devils area. You do find several of the Red Devils. There's also lots of evidence of gunfire. Obviously people desperate to survive. In one area just outside the base, or just sort of near the entrance to the base, you see probably about 40 or 50 people who have gunshot wounds. And it looks like they...
executed?
No, it looks... The gunshot wounds are kind of all over the place. It looks like somebody opened fire on them perhaps when
It was probably a crowd probably wanting to get onto either a ship that was still here or trying to get in before they se close the doors to seal the...
They are... It seems to have been relatively indiscriminate. Men, women, children, just sort of lying here.
It's the devils. They
could even get down to like capture the flag over air bottles and shit like that. You
that's
know?
true.
Nasty business.
Last air bottle's
Desperation.
probably
Yeah.
sitting there
This is a place
unused
that's
with
already
2
been
people
riding over
fighting over it.
so
Yeah. Okay.
every single thing
Yeah.
is...
Yeah. So you guys find your way back to the ship. As you do so, again, you kind of pushing your way through this gripping darkness of the actual planet itself, past the bodies, and eventually you come to see the lights underneath the actual vessel itself, sort of in the gloom, right? So you can kind of see like these 2 fuzzy points of light, and as you get closer, the ship sort of morphs out of the gloom. And you hear, you call Rika to make sure she doesn't gun you down from the turret or something.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Zombies! Oh, the dead bodies are moving!
Red Rover, please don't shoot us!
Yeah, I know.
So you arrive back at the ship with these, like I said, with these 2,
Data cores.
Data cores. Okay. You've been gone probably about 3 hours or so. It's taking you a while to actually make your way through. Some of the stuff I passed over where you had to crank open doors.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Slow going.
Yeah, it is slow going. Okay. You retrieve Falk from his bunk, right? He's sleeping, and when you awaken, he suddenly comes to a start, his hand reaching for his pistol, still, and did you find it?
Trunk.
Ooh. Okay, so he take it to the workshop. Let me see if I can find it. Okay.
Whether he's there or there's a path from there.
Okay, so Falk, so he heads to the workshop, leaving the rest of you guys. Basically, you change out the filters on your respirators.
Yeah.
And he goes to work. What do you do?
So do we move on and pick up?
Well, we might, depending on what these have.
Folk's gonna want to spend some time and see what's what.
Question I have. This is another Falk thing, but maybe Falk's busy. drones, lifters, flitters, can we do stuff without lifting the ship to scout the other 2 locations?
Not.
Because there's a lot of parked ships.
We
'Cause
might,
that's another thing we
might
could do.
just as easily come to some like ground air fire from some enclave that's left and something small. I'd
Yeah,
rather
true.
go
But I'm
big.
not thinking like, because remember, it's a pretty crowded, even with everything dead. Instead of going out the center, we can stay low. There's different levels, the concrete barriers, so we could travel. Because remember how the trench goes down, you have each floor comes out.
Yeah,
So we go down to like the gray zones are where most things
we're
like
afforded
to-
a lot more cover in the ship,
Yeah,
and
that's
what
true.
we're
So
after
we're a
is
lot
like
more
a
visible from
ship-sized
the big
cargo.
ones.
And that's kind of the thing is the ship can't go the same place we could with a small flitter. Maybe like we could actually go in amongst.
Well, why
the
don't we?
scout.
Should we just look for something to help with cargo lifting while he's doing that?
Yeah, because that's true. If nothing
this was
else,
this was a.
It
ship
sounds
yard.
more or less like we can
Okay,
pretty
so I'm
much
going to
set
pause
down
you for a
and move.
moment, right? Bear in mind, EMP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is fried other than
But
us.
we're
But
pretty
even
far
hell,
away.
we were fried, and we were way the heck down there.
down in the dust. Yeah, so it's
I
probably not a
remember the
lot
reason
of
why we only
functional
survived was
lighting.
somebody made an extremely good crash landing.
but
Emergency descent. Thank you very much.
Yes.
we are one of the more
Back when I had pennies to spend.
And we do have the possibility, without using folk.
Because you have to keep in mind,
To repair
like,
something or get
say if we
something
were
up and
trying to
running.
get up to where we're going, like, that's hours of flitter flight to get there, right? Like,
Yeah,
this is
get
quite a distance. Each,
Yeah.
Back up
each
to-
square is, what, 10K or something?
10K,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's a bit.
yeah.
It's a bit.
Like
And
I like
feel
I like the
there's-
idea, but if you're thinking of doing it without us in the vehicle, it's not going to happen.
Or even with us in the vehicle, that's getting a bit far from the ship. For
Yeah.
No, I kind of think we're better off in our ship, but we're going to want to crack some data.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time, I think. I don't think we're
Okay.
going to multitask this one. I
Okay.
think.
But wait, there's more. All right, so Falk goes to work. What do you guys do?
I guess we wait.
Okay, you're just going to wait for Falk to finish?
Some of us need
Well, that's
rest
what I was
as
thinking. We
well.
could try to salvage some equipment.
Parts.
Parts, even if
Hey,
nothing else,
parts.
for
Actually,
a cargo.
I
loader.
wonder whether or not the. I'm actually going to go out, check see whether or not the fuel tanks are still. Because we've got. If I pull out the backup generator, I might be able to get fuel out of the
Yeah.
sites here.
Okay.
Perhaps even nutrient slurry
The
number
Red
7.
Devils probably also have like a warehouse in their
Water.
compound.
Because they probably ran out of
You never know
oxygen
what's-
before they ran out of other
Yep.
things.
There might be something worthwhile. You never know.
Okay.
So basically,
Brief
while he's working on that,
reconnaissance.
we'll salvage.
I think we're fighting exhaustion. The rest of us, like Folk
Well-
had a big run. We had a rest, and now we've been down and going for
Right, okay, so it took
Maybe
you
we
about
have
an
a
hour to
cycle
descend to the planet.
Yeah.
And then we were
And
out
then
for
you're-
4 or
yeah.
for 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So
we've
you-
done like one
Yeah.
portion. Okay, so we've got like another recon in us
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. You probably have at least another, 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you, what you know is that there are nozzles for the actual fuel themselves.
Yeah.
So you descend out of the ship. I assume you're similarly armed?
Yeah.
Or are you by yourself?
No.
I'll go with them at the
yeah,
very
I'll
start.
go.
Yeah,
no
that's
one
fine.
leaves the ship alone just
All
because
right.
we don't know what's out there.
Okay, so fair enough. So it sounds like you also want to go to the warehouse and see if there's anything worth
Mhm.
stealing. Or
Yeah.
salvaging.
Salvaging. You never know.
Yeah.
We're
They're
living
dead. It's salvaging.
Right.
The devil's a bunch of dickholes anyway.
Oh, come on. I'm
We're
surprised.
at war in one place and paid them in another.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you two are out doing fuel,
Yeah.
and you two are salvaging, or you
Sure.
like who
Sure.
is-
Should you salvage?
or do you really want to keep them together?
You should salvage with your skill.
That's for parts and components, but if you want to handle the fueling,
There may be some infiltrating component to our
Yeah, the fueling
salvage.
should be pretty
You never
straightforward.
know.
So
well, no,
maybe we
but
refuel.
I've got to be able. First thing, if we're going to do fuel, is I've got to plug power so that you actually have power to the fueling system.
To pump the fuel.
Person who knows how to do stuff like that.
Okay, so maybe you and me do scavenging
Sure, that sounds
while they
fine.
do refueling?
Yeah.
All right.
Or
Flammable.
Keep us out of
liquids.
trouble. That's no fun.
or fueling.
You can stay. We'll go.
All right.
Okay, yeah, okay. Fueling, scavenging.
All right.
I mean, what trouble can you guys get into?
On
So,
a dead planet.
Plenty.
Okay, so you take a guess at where they might be. Okay?
Yeah.
And you begin to search. So this is going to be a wits plus observation. Whoever is better can make the roll.
That would be him.
Okay.
I assume.
And do you have any observation?
I do. I have one observation.
Okay, so you'll add a dice of help to yours, which is a bonus dice. So only counts as a 6.
Yeah. 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. It takes you about an hour or so to actually trace it down to the actual, basically, you have to follow the pumps. There's some service shafts. You have to crank open the service shafts by hand, follow the lines, and eventually you find the 2 spherical tanks. The tanks themselves are long since stagnant, meaning they're going to need to be stirred first before you can actually pump the fuel.
Okay.
Okay. When the tanks, what occurs is they actually begin to crystallize.
Right.
And the stirrers move the crystallization.
Yeah.
So they can actually be and not gum the pipes up. So you're going to need to do that first. For that, you're going to need power.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll offload the
The 1-ton fusion generator.
yeah,
Okay.
and find a place to plug it in to repower.
Okay. And you drag a very long extension cord down there.
Have those.
Can we salvage a cargo loader? Because we're going to need a cargo loader.
We
We have
Power
some
loader have a ton of electronics in them.
yeah.
to rebuild it from
Just
scratch.
need the little hand truck.
A little pallet jack?
Yeah.
All right.
Let downhill! Let downhill!
Oh crap.
Oh. Yeah, the trap that my dad and I got into with
How
those
deep
things.
is the
That sounds like fun.
kaboom fusion?
Meanwhile, some old man walks up to you, fool of a took.
And then
All right.
we hear the drum drum.
Yeah. All right. So you begin your process.
Yeah.
To you, this is a fairly routine process. You have to bypass the power. So I'm going to require a single technician roll from you. But apart from that, it's a 2-man job to kind of run the cables,
Yeah.
get the pumps flowing.
You're a very eager helper,
Yes. Okay.
as opposed to us 2 ADD people.
That's why I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
You get to be a bit of both.
We'll get you there, yeah.
Oh my word! Really?
I did do a
Delayed
fake
response.
Scottish accent.
All right.
2.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
should
but it
count.
was Bones who always said I'm a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't even
Damn it,
screw up the
Jim.
line. You did it exactly right. Damn it, Spivey.
That's pretty close.
I'm a doctor.
Okay. Okay, so you begin your work. You're guessing 4 hours to get the pumps back online. There's enough fuel here to, there's 1,000 cubic meters of fuel here.
Yeah.
So there are several trips of fuel for you.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
But being topped up without having to deal with.
Yeah, my
hydrogen
assumption is
processing.
that the
Yeah.
Red Devils by themselves were set up to
Oh no, that's that.
Have
handle the
little-
whole.
Well, this used to be an actual
Yeah.
shipyard.
Yeah,
Like an actual
which is
space-
why once we're
Okay.
done fueling, I'm gonna,
Meanwhile, you two head into the into the warehouse. Now you are basically scavenging.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
I think so, yeah.
So this is you gonna stay together or split up?
We'll stay together.
Together-ish.
Okay, wits plus observation.
Mine's lousy. It's all good.
Yeah, you can both roll. Let's see how many successes you get.
1!
Also one.
All right. So,
You didn't fail.
Did not fail.
that'll be 2 cards. Goes to you right
You
there.
really sent the wrong character. Because you're an observer, aren't you?
I have observation.
Oh.
I've got decent wits, but I mean, really, what's how much should I?
Yes, yeah, I'm only 4 and 1, right?
Okay. Well, you, the Red Devils were pirates and smugglers. Okay. And so,
Uh-oh.
you find yourself on Gomorrah. In Gomorrah, the one thing is it's a corporate-run town, right? So almost everything you saw people wore was either cast off or logoed. Okay, those are the 2 big things. Logoed with corporate,
Case of Nike swooshes.
meaning What you find for one of yours is a huge cargo of what appears to be knockoff clothing.
Cool.
Okay.
We could all, I'm sure, use a new set of clothes.
Okay.
Probably.
Jackets, a variety of other things. They,
Fell off the back of a
imagine
space truck somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if you would that like the Nike swoosh, but it's backwards.
Yeah.
Like that kind of.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing you find is a variety of kitchenwares, etc. Again, they look maybe like they were misappropriated.
Falk, are we missing anything in the galley?
Fell off the
Anything
back.
more out?
No, you're not missing anything. Remember, you have the phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that
So-
we're missing in the gallery is food.
So what I'm
It's a
saying
knockoff
is, in
KitchenAid.
searching the Red Devil's place, if they have any type of high value goods,
We're not looking in the right place.
you haven't found them here. These both are
Well, we
low
got
level
4 hours waiting for them.
low
so-
level consumer goods. Okay, that was your 4 hours.
Oh,
You search the warehouse. There's tons of crates,
we suck at this.
and as you kind of crack them open, you're like, nothing. What you over here? More goddamn jackets. Holy crap! How many jackets could? 35 million people.
Suddenly, no more market.
Okay. So you find there's probably a commercial value to it.
No, it's just it. I mean, shipping textiles
So okay.
All right.
on a hand truck.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of tons to turn into anything of value.
We'll find better loot elsewhere.
All right.
Paladin wants to
Yeah.
share.
So you fuel the ship.
Something that they would have a store of consumables somewhere, but apparently these guys are looking in the wrong place.
There was none here, as per the cards.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, there were food shortages prior.
Yeah,
to
I know.
LP,
Yeah,
so there might be a little.
it's unlikely to find a massive stockpile of food anywhere
Yeah.
on Caprice.
Yeah, that's true.
Although what food there was probably didn't go consumed once people started.
Right now, your after 8 hours of being abroad, your respirators need to recharge. Okay, so you've basically kicked out all of your filters. You now need to recharge the mask, so you're
Yeah.
kind of stuck on the ship until they are.
All right.
Okay. Falk has decrypted. He says, "So, good news."
Sure.
So I'm seeing code that's definitely Marvin's code. Like I recognize his code because he and I have worked to modify it before. And I haven't decrypted it all, but I'm thinking that it's not all here. So, but I there might be some trace or markers inside of the code once it's all decrypted, but it's going to take me at least a day. The program's running now, so...
Well, we got our 8 hours, and then we'll go find more places for...
Well, we can hang out here, continue salvaging, or we can relocate. But part of the advantage of being, or reason coming here, we'd have to come back probably to get stuff. So I guess
No, just stay put.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah.
out of sight. It's easy
Okay.
enough.
we made
That's
good
up
time
another
getting
day's
here.
worth of food?
Yeah.
How are we doing on food, given we can't get more?
We are at 38 days to 50 days for a full crew.
Well, technically, there's a lot of jerky out there.
That is horrible. Horrible.
That would get you a
Soylent Green is people.
Spacer jerky.
Spacer jerky. Literally. Now with fresh spacer. Now with more spacer.
More spacer in every piece.
More space.
Fuck.
I knew it was going to come up, but I didn't didn't think it was going to come from you.
The doctor.
Well, you could also get like Kid Cat.
Oh.
All I know is, as a player, I don't want to go anywhere near
Candy
maternity
rounds.
wards or anything.
Okay, that's gross.
Yeah,
Was that a line?
that was crossing a line. It made me feel
A
uncomfortable.
lot of people might say, veil might be, cannibalism, but whatever. Okay. So the days roll on. You guys, again, you sit in the ominous quiet of Caprice. Okay, there is occasional radio traffic which bounces off sort of infrequently amongst the walls. Every so often in the distance you can see a light move through the haze. But apart from that, nothing. Right? Like literally nothing.
Very eerie.
That's creepy, yeah.
And
Creepy
there's bodies
as
everywhere.
What's that?
Creepy as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll
I thought
discipline
you-
checks.
Creepy as Falk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the entire place is relatively oppressive, meaning that what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have you make an empathy check, please.
Oh god.
Oh, jeez. Empathy and?
Empathy and anything, or just straight up empathy?
Straight up empathy.
This is not gonna go well.
A whole 3 dice.
We roll back.
1 6.
There we go.
Oh! So I'm drinking. Fuck all y'all. And I have my headphones on, and I'm not sure.
So there are no rerolls. Just tell me what you roll.
2 ones.
1 and a 4.
1 to 4.
1 6 5 3 2.
Okay.
I've seen death before. I've come through.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's not necessarily good.
I always stayed in the ships. I didn't actually see bodies.
Okay. Now,
Or
strangely, you have 2 empathy.
I only have 2 empathy, yeah.
Okay.
He's got
Strangely,
5 in
Double
his
stat.
wits. That's why.
right, but strangely, this actually helps you because it means that you're not as in tune with other people.
That's true.
Okay. For every one that you rolled, subtract 2 from your mental pool until you have left this area.
Okay.
Alright.
Wow.
Okay.
So the 6 didn't help me, but I didn't roll a 1, so I'm good.
Right. So you are, like, this place is oppressive.
Yeah.
Right? So the higher your empathy, the more this affects you. Okay? And you can, it's almost like when you look out the windows, you can feel the dead looking back in.
I haven't seen that since the last major salvage operation.
So, like I said, us visiting here may really recalculate our motivations.
Yes.
'cause-
This is probably a traumatizing experience.
Okay.
And personal growth comes through.
Right.
Well, and you weren't part of the
Builds
cause.
character.
No,
you
that's
don't
right.
understand why we're feeling it so bad.
Yeah, actually, and strangely, that almost makes sense that you would
Yeah.
not be affected because you guys are like,
Oh,
Oh
shit.
God, what did we do?
I'm probably looking. It's like, well, at least these people mostly died through an
Yeah.
an anoxic environment. So it was like going to sleep. And because sorry, there was this.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that,
okay.
and
Yeah.
okay, so
I spent 6 months dealing with.
And she's gonna be playing with her gun, looking at you as she's drinking.
right. So the thought arm, you're going to wait until he's done.
Yeah, he said it was going to be a day. Let's hope it's just
Okay.
we'll salvage as we can.
Right. Okay. Well, after you get some rest, your respirators are now recharged, and you can go back out again if you wish.
Sure.
Okay. I just need to know what you're looking for.
Spares.
Okay. Spares. Are you guys going to go out again as well?
Yep.
Yeah, we could have a second run at it.
Okay. Go for it. So everybody makes basically observation. Tell me how many successes you get.
Does my scavenger work for this as well? Okay. Thought it did, I just thought I'd ask.
So I'm making an independent observation roll. No modifiers.
No modifiers.
Okay.
3 successes.
Well, except for my nun.
Wow.
Wow.
How? That's a my roll.
I know.
Congratulations, you got my dice.
Apparently.
So what do you get?
I got nothing, and I got 2 ones. One of them's on my skill die.
But it doesn't matter on your first roll. Unless
Yeah,
you
it's like
push.
you want to push it.
I'm going to.
Now, were all of yours
Yeah, I'll
skill?
push it in general.
No.
principle.
Oh, you got
Wait, have I
all of
recovered the one I pushed? When did I push last time?
You would have probably recovered that. It's been a day.
Yeah, that was back when we were leaving.
yours. There you
That's a
go.
good
For the
Whoa,
whole lot more
yeah.
ones. Whole lot more ones. Wow.
Yeah.
Was
2
it
6s.
worth it?
Hopefully, but probably not. That's a lot of.
Oh.
Dun,
2
dun.
6s.
So I'm
Is it
thinking
one?
those 2 big
1-1.
sharks are going to come floating down on us.
Come on, let me GM.
Yeah, definitely shuffle because I can see your bottom card.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We have all those
Like I
research
said,
labs.
honest to even our detriment.
Okay, so you are... Okay, so who got 6s?
I have 1.
You got 1, so this is for parts. You're also looking for parts?
Yep, I got 2 6s.
And then 3 successes on
salvages.
salvage.
What?
Oh! Nice answer.
Nice going.
Nice. Wow.
Okay, so you, so you break into the stores, okay?
Yeah.
And at first you're just like, there's nothing here, okay? But then you're like, wait a second, there's literally nothing here. Like, there's things that should be in here.
There aren't here.
And so, yeah, so exactly. So you begin, sort of pushing crates aside, etc. And sure enough, there's these two great panels that open in the floor. Underneath it, you find yourself a ton of pristine spare parts. Plus, I'm going to offer you... it's an ace of clubs. What the hell? I'm going to offer you a pair of plasma missiles.
Oh, yeah, those are coming along.
Okay.
Probably the most discerning of missile
So
launchers.
a plasma missile, just before it impacts, rather than just a conventional explosive, it actually has a
like
high
a-
energy yield.
Oh.
So it's not like a nuclear weapon.
It's more like a shape charge, but
It
in
is,
space.
exactly. So it's a shape charge, and what it does is when it impacts and it injects plasma into whatever
Yeah.
it's hitting.
Oh,
I'm thinking
Yeah.
Mythbusters RPG episode.
It's quite nasty.
nasty. Lovely.
Well, that's good because we got two big sharks above us.
They are they're ship killers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you would imagine, and previously they were restricted to military use only.
Yeah.
Wonder how the Red Devils got them.
Well, they're hidden.
Those fancy
They
labs.
fell off another truck.
All right.
Yeah.
You did okay too.
Oh.
Nicely done.
Okay, so so you will find a 2 tons of cargo. This cargo happens to be mixed luxuries. Okay. So we're going to say tobacco and alcohol.
All right.
Again?
Yay!
Well, it's a common luxury.
I know.
Right?
So we go from 0.4 of tons of whiskey and tobacco to
You
2.
haven't loaded anything into the vehicle yet.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't found it yet, but
Well, no.
oh, he's
No.
found it.
Like, you found stuff last time. You still haven't put that into the vessel. Right?
We have to catch the load. We're still just looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay. So, yes.
But now we can prioritize alcohol and tobacco over
And the missiles.
knockoff clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Alcohol, then the missiles.
gently use kitchenware.
You also find what appears to be some Essex Com boxes. And sure enough, when you check with Dr. Yager, you find out that these are, in fact, pharmaceuticals.
Oh.
Okay, a variety of painkillers, antibiotics, etc. It seems to be some sort of maybe like a shipment to a settlement or something that went
Nice.
away.
Ooh. Well, that's
Okay.
handy. How
It's
much?
probably high value now.
Half a
post
ton.
fall.
Half a ton. Ah.
That was 3 aces and two draws.
Holy crap.
Right, and you also roll 2d6. Multiply it by 5. Let's say.
Ouch.
15 man days worth of rations of
Yay!
food. But that is literally picking up the last can of pickles from the back of the freezer.
But it's still 2 more days on planet for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 15 man days, which you're calculating it by entire crew days. aren't
Yeah,
you?
which is
As the crew changes, though.
I've been keeping track of the crew changes.
Okay, well, it's 15 days, so you can get rid of the extra if you like.
15 or 14.
So that's 2.5 days, right,
Yeah.
of food. So, anyhow, so this is a variety of preserved foods rather than extruded. So,
Yeah.
Yay.
yeah. Okay,
So that was another 4 hours?
another 4 hours has passed. You also believe that you have now salvaged what you think is left inside of the Red Devil's base.
Gotta load it anyway.
Yeah. We'll spend the next little while loading it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next shift loading.
These are strength plus force rolls, please.
Yay!
And we do have the lifters to help out.
Yep, on your ship.
Yep.
So the lifters, for those who use them, will add a bonus dice.
Do I get to use my arm?
No. It's
How many-
full body strength.
How many lifters are there?
There's 2.
Two. Okay.
Actually, sorry. Whoever uses them uses 2 bonus dice.
Okay. Who wants to use?
I'll go prep lunch.
Well, look, yeah, like this is a pathetic roll.
Well, it's very
Oh.
similar to what I.
We're all the
We
same.
all have the same roll.
Okay,
Hey,
so
you
yeah.
guys take.
Do you really
it.
want
Oh,
my
wait,
help?
who had the 5 strength? Oh, he's dead.
Dread.
Oh, wait, who had the 3 force? Oh, right.
You guys take the lifters. That's like
So 2
typical
items.
Silas
Yeah.
moving crap around.
Do it. Sorry, they're not bonus dice. They're actually going to be item dice.
Yep.
So with the 1, they'll require repair or maintenance when they're done.
1 success.
One success.
All right.
No successes.
No successes. All right. So each of you can move about half a ton per watch. With a single success, you manage to double that. With the lifters, you move about half a ton. So you move about 2.5 tons of cargo manually over the next 4 hours.
Oh, that's the mixed luxuries and the
Pharmaceuticals?
pharmaceuticals. Oh, we're loading that. What do the plasma missiles count as? A ton each of half? What do they? Half ton each?
So the plasma missiles will take a unit of cargo to move. So like they come in cases, etc. So
Yeah.
And the mandate.
Well, I would. You can move one of what you want. I'm going to actually first move the one of spares.
Okay.
I'll move the missiles then. Yeah. That's
Okay.
1, and then half would be the pharmaceuticals.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
2 tons of luxuries are still out there
All right.
when your
And-
masks
and
once again
the-
expire.
Well, and then we've also got the rations, or are those automatic? Is they small enough?
Yeah, sure. He does those. What are you carrying? Food.
Picnic baskets.
Yeah.
All right. So after the day is done, Falk, he completes his task and he says, "Okay, I've decrypted it." Well, this is typical Marvin. So what he's done was, just so no single repository
Mm-hmm.
would be mission critical, he spread the data out over a couple, and he's rated the data so that if any one particular one was lost, then the parity and the other ones
Straight.
would allow him to. So we're going to need to hit 3 of these in order to assemble a full
Backup.
cognizance wow, break the place, Kyle.
Violence. About to draw a sword.
Yeah. We're going to need to. So we have 1. We're going to need 2 more. I have data locations. The problem is that he located them by where they were logically.
Oh no.
Not geographically.
So I'm going to need to go someplace where there's a map of the logic of the actual data infrastructure of the trench.
Gamora Hub.
Which means I think we're going to have to, hit the either that or Babylon Summit.
Well, Gamora
Well,
Hub is one of our
Isn't
targets.
the Babylon Summit where
Penrose?
Penrose is at?
Nope. He was down near the Venture.
Oh right.
Huh?
Data and Ventures.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So he's the next hop up, but we should hit Gamora Hub.
Salazar was Genji Trench area? Or am I misremembering?
What's that?
Salazar.
He was actually down in.
I
Nope.
guess it doesn't really matter.
It was blown up anyway.
Yeah.
So I may as well go to Gamora Hub since we have to go there anyway.
Yeah.
Harlan can work on that while we get the caches.
Yeah.
Cash.
And we
Yeah.
still have a bit of salvage here.
Gotta watch because otherwise we're gonna have to start dumping stuff because there's 50 tons worth of stuff we're
Yeah.
How
picking
much
up.
space do we have?
Or if we taking into account the 50 tons, we're at 76 of 77 of 96.
So, what's wrong?
So you have 19
how
more
about-
tons. Is that including the stuff that you found?
We still have
Yes,
2
it is.
tons. We've got 52 tons to go.
Okay.
So the 2 tons of mixed luxuries and the 50
So-
tons of
Do you have
cash.
any idea how much the Pearson 17 manufacturing equipment would be?
We have no idea.
It's not large. Peregrine 17 isn't a necessary. It's basically a centrifuge and a filter.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that in the time that you've spent probably researching this, you've had days in the IRS. I'm going to say that you assume that it's probably less than 10 tons.
Is it scalable? If you had 20 tons, you could make twice as much?
No, the centrifuge itself is a certain size. Like the more centrifuge you have, obviously, right? But there's a certain type of centrifuge and fineness of the centrifuge that you need.
So that's like a per unit thing, I guess is what I'm going. 10 tons per unit of peregrine manufactured.
Yeah, exactly. So
and
if
they
you took
probably have more than one here.
That's probably true.
Yeah. But as long as we got 10 tons, we can at least get one.
Yeah.
Which is better than none.
Yeah. So the centrifuge itself, like, if you took extras, they would be backups.
Yeah.
For which you imagine the Kusari government would be very...
We're going to be hopefully showing up with production equipment and a supply of peregrine 17. So we're already golden, I think.
Okay.
So we put 2.5.
But yeah, so that sounds like you're saying with 50 tons for the cash, the other 2 tons of salvage we found here, plus that was still potentially up to 20 tons for P17 production equipment plus extras.
About 19, he said.
Yeah.
Oh,
or 19.
We can
we're
always
at 28.4, 78.4, so about 18 tons, give or take.
Really close, but whatever.
So 1 unit
Close
plus
to
some
full.
spares. Yeah. Well, 1 unit for sure with room to spare. Okay. That sounds good. So let's finish loading before we relocate to Gamora Hub, or
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get down there. We can always throw it off, so.
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. So where are you headed? You're gonna spend 4 hours loading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. With the 4 hours, there's enough of you working that you can get everything back in.
And then we're going to Gamora Hub.
I think that seems to be
Since we have to be there already, and that's where Harlan can look at the...
Then
No,
is it
Verlin's
logical-
looking to go up to the summit.
He says he might be able to do it in the hub. He's not sure.
So it's probably easier from the summit, but he could still do it from the hub.
May as well check it while we're there, because then
Yeah.
if we don't have to make an additional stop...
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be flying around drawing attention any more than we have to.
Right. Okay.
Do we want to time our relocation
Of
flight
course.
for when the sharks are overhead?
When they're not overhead, yes, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
All
this.
So the trench is deep, so
The trench is deep, and it's full of metal and concrete.
yeah. So we probably just have to.
And who knows who's
There's
radio
probably
next
just
to
a
them.
narrow window that we have to not do it in. I'm assuming.
All right. So what I need you to do is you are flying through a trench with, stone and haze and everything else. If you turn on your sensors, you become visible to people who have sensor detecting equipment. However, it also makes your roll much easier with the terrain following gear.
We're not going when they're overhead, so turn on.
There's still some other people around the trench, and as soon as we light up, we're primo salvage. But I think we can handle ourselves. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Well, I
You
mean,
just don't have
plasma
to-
missiles.
Exactly.
most
I prefer to sell those as fire those.
most ground fire, if it's civilians, not gonna phase us too much.
No.
We've got space plating.
And I would assume
Space
that
plating?
Space plate. Well, like our plane,
we got
like,
vehicle
A
grade
spaceship
armor as
versus
opposed to
handgun.
personal
Yeah.
scale
That's what
armor.
he's saying.
Space
Yeah.
plating. I like that.
space plating.
Space plating!
My other assumption, if there's a few survivors down there taking pot shots out of general orneriness, that's not a concern. I'd be more concerned about the people that have managed to survive this long through competence and
Who made that? Oh, it's my
Resources.
D&D game. They made a shot like that.
Yeah.
Just a...
I also had a character who shot down an X-Wing with a blaster pistol.
what system?
What, West End.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
turn it on just for a quick
Yeah.
blip and swoop through.
Yeah, okay. So you're going to use the train file, which means no penalty dice. Go ahead and roll.
Item? Item
What's
dice?
that?
No item dice?
Yeah, you get an item dice for the sensors. They are an extra bonus dice.
Ooh.
Okay.
3 successes.
Nice.
So more than you need. All right. So with the train sensors on, your radar penetrates the fog and draws you like a 3-dimensional map.
That's what it looks like.
Right. So you are now flying sort of by sensor rather than by feel, or rather than by sight. And because of that, every so often, like something that's not like visible to the radar kind of flies by on the side. You're like, what was that?
Don't care.
It's not on sensors. All right.
Bats.
Carbon fiber flagpole.
Yeah. So you cruise through. Babylon Summit is just that. It's like a big nipple, sort of in like a stalagmite.
Mites go up, tights go down.
Right. So the stalagmite sort of leading up, with the massive CMC module on the top, etc., and then surrounded by all the technology, where Harlan Falk was once imprisoned. And you fly by that, eventually find yourselves in Gamorra Hub. Sure enough, here, blocks upon blocks of warehouses and landing pads, manufactories, cranes, all of that kind of equipment. Okay? Sorry, I said cranes, and then I thought to myself, how big a family did he have?
I think we got them all off. I think we managed to rescue them all.
Yeah.
No, just
That
the
he knew.
immediate family. That was just my ex-wife and kids. There's also his
cousins, his
parents.
Well, his first ex-wife and their kids, and plus
You're
there's
a
the two
horrible
girlfriends.
father.
Well,
What do you
he's
mean? I had
not.
lots of kids.
Crane's dead.
Crane's
And as it turns out, he was actually excellent at being a father. He could make kids like nobody's business.
Was an excellent dad. Just look how many kids he had scattered across the cluster.
All right.
Dog.
Okay. So now the problem you have, of course, is that he gave you a location according to like a grid reference with navigational beacons, etc. There are none. Right. So as you sort of cruise, are you on a clock?
No.
Okay.
I
know. So as you cruise the area, you find yourself sort of looking at the navigational beacon that he gave you, and
Did he give us any hint? Because he said it was in the wall, so...
yeah, he did. However, you're looking at kilometers and kilometers of that. And so he's finally, Falk's like, yeah, I got nothing. Like there's this navigational beacon could be anywhere along here. So we're gonna have to probably land and sort these out by hand.
Eesh.
Hopefully there's some sort of order to them.
Well, and if anything, Falk needs to be out of the ship anyway to plug in, so...
Yeah. The other choice that we have is we can find some sort of control station.
Yeah.
So we can find it from there.
Yeah, find the control station and power it back up and see what we can find.
Right. And you just have to go back and get the fusion reactor. It's plugged into the fuel pump.
Which we should have.
Should have, yeah.
We will have to go back.
I'm kidding.
We had 4 hours to load 2 tons. I think we picked all of our shit up.
Yeah. And if not, Rika would say, did you forget your fusion reactor?
Mom!
Rika, ship's mom.
Yep.
Someone's got to be, because it ain't
Well,
me.
she's the soccer mom who drives the bus.
You gave me GM flashbacks there to having like, yes, my character has 3 pieces of chalk and that's how much encumbrance it is. And I have the receipts to prove it. I brought it back in town.
All right. Yeah, so you guys... Actually, you probably didn't take it off. You probably just unspooled the cable. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
It's 1 ton. We're not loading it on and off.
Okay, so he said, well, this looks like a central place. Why don't we sit down here and see if we can't find it?
Sure.
Okay.
How much shooting did we take?
What's that?
How much shooting did we take?
Strangely, none. Like I said, the gloom here is pretty thick, right?
So they just heard this ridiculous noise.
Imagine well, exactly. So they hear the noise flying overhead. Again, that would require that anybody who's here would be outside.
Which they
in
wouldn't
sort of
be.
this poisonous soup, right?
Fair enough.
Can I use my intuition to feel for people? Ooh. Like, are there people somewhere below us?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
What would their state be? Are we going to rescue
So
them?
you
or
asked me a
abandon
yes or
them
no
to their
question,
fate?
right? That's
Are there people, like, as we fly?
Can he use his intuition to sense others?
So you know there are people nearby because you can see light,
Right.
Are there more
Okay.
than 1,000?
right?
Yeah.
So
Less
so
than
you
a
don't
million.
really need, like, your eyes tell you that there are
Yeah.
people here,
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
They're here, but he just kind of doesn't want to come outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't really want them to.
Yeah, we don't want to bother.
They could very well be innocents, and then what are we going to do about it? Abandon them to their deaths?
You're not Crane. Stop it.
Okay, so
I'm
he's a doctor. Okay.
They're not
On a
Kasarian.
mission for your people.
That's true. Millions
My
of
peeps.
Kasari lives depend on me. There's no time
West
to
Coast
cry
represent.
over the graves of those who already fallen
Okay. You sit down.
to the stream.
Do sit down.
He says it's obviously going to be someplace central. It's going to be well marked, right? This
Yeah.
is obviously an administration area of some sort.
Yeah.
So I say we split up, keep in radio communication, see if we can't find something.
Okay.
Okay. He turns to Rika. Yeah. Okay. Come on with me.
The last time they left, it was disastrous.
Yes, it was actually.
On this planet.
There's no one left to lock him up.
Yeah. Rika's like, yeah, I got to get out of this ship.
Are we leaving the ship empty?
What's that?
You're making me stay behind. Fine.
You can
Not
go
going
to
to stay behind.
You can
I
go
say we
to.
split up into twos. The sooner we get this done, the sooner we
can
can
lock
actually.
the ship. You know.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody remember where we parked.
Yeah.
Floors, K, ship stall 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Our communicators, they kind of like. Do we have navigation stuff in our communicators?
They are not communicators. They are hailers.
Hailers, yes.
Right. So your hailer is
Are they-
basically a radio device.
Yeah. But
So
they're
you
not
can-
multifunction enough to have
Hold
all
on.
the maps.
It can pick up any radio signal, including a beacon from your ship.
Which
Ah.
is what I just said when we left.
Right.
So yes, absolutely, you can locate your ship.
Yeah.
It won't tell you if there's obstruction between you and the ship. It'll tell you how far you are from the ship. Won't necessarily tell you what road to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
take to the ship.
Oh, okay, fair enough. It's like
Okay.
Loran C.
Hmm?
Like Loran C.
Yep. Okay. Everybody, go ahead and make your rolls.
Observation.
Observation.
A horrible, horrible.
What is it? The other thing that they are as well is they also are, to a limited degree, inertial locators from initial position. So they're not a map box. They don't contain maps.
Yeah.
If you're connected to the Hailer network, you can download the maps, and then what it does is it sort of puts you in relation to them.
Overlays that. Okay.
Right.
But it can kind of tell you where you are in relation to where you started.
Correct, exactly. Also, if, for example, you're at grid reference 1-5,
Yeah.
right, and someone else is at grid reference -3-8,
It's
you
a
could
grid.
say -3-8,
Hmm.
and then this will get you to that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, go for it.
1-6.
Okay, 1. Okay, all right. Well, strangely, Falk finds it. Rolling 8 dice, he got 3 successes.
Surprise! He knows what he's looking for.
Well, yeah, and not only that, it's the 5 wits, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my 5 wits didn't help me too.
Oh, that's true. But he has 5 real wits.
Yeah.
Wah wah.
Ouch!
Oh, you be bashing my engineer.
He is the wittiest. No, whatever. Okay. You guys are out hunting for about an hour. Okay. A lot of the stuff it's well marked, but the markings are old and they're a little bit arcane to you. You don't know exactly what you're looking for. Okay. And then he says, "Listen, yeah, I think I found it. I got a door here. Looks like it moves to some sort of subterranean control room. It says administration, so I'm thinking this is what we're looking for. This is the reference. You might want to move the ship over closer, and we'll pull power in.
You want to go infiltrate for them?
Sure.
Okay. The door's actually open. We're going to head inside, see what we can find.
Somebody with a gun, please go with them.
They both have guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but he is so not combative.
That is.
You two go back to
true.
the ship.
Yeah, you guys.
And we go.
You guys go meet up with them. We'll go back to the ship and move it.
I'll render completely unnecessary medical aid. There's no way that they will need medical aid.
Right.
I think if Rika's out, then either Judah needs to come back or Rika needs to come back.
Well,
to the ship.
No, I'm going to the
we'll
ship.
head back to the ship.
Okay.
Because
Then
Rika's
we'll
already
head on.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. And what you hear as is, he's headed in. I'm going to head inside. He's obviously excited. He says, "Hey, listen, this is a control center, so I think I might be able to map the network from here as well. So that's good news." And then, his hailer goes offline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lovely. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to start packing up.
What? You bastard. Okay. I know. I'm just giving you
Yeah,
a hard time, Kyle. Are you working on Thursday?
Yes.
Are you working on Saturday?
No.
Are you working on Sunday?
No.
It doesn't matter because we're not gaming like
Exactly.
that. But
He gets a weekend.
so let me get it straight. You don't work on your other games nights.
No, I work on my other games.
Really?
I work on my other games nights too. 8 on, 4 off tends to make a mess of any schedule.
Wow, that's lame. All right. So I've got a place that I want to get you to. Okay. But then what we'll do is we'll call it there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, you have work to do anyhow, right? Because you have to lay out. Like you're going to be working with Falk to actually recover the data. So okay. So then you guys can actually go and okay, that works. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can continue for a little longer, not too longer, because I know we're losing Karina here. Oh, and right, and we're losing video.
Yeah.
Damn it! Can you leave your laptop?
No.
Can you
It's just
hand me the
what we need or the? Oh no, because also the maps.
I've got the
Maps.
chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to set up Twitch.
Here, passing along.
I may have a spare laptop that can run this if you want me to leave it here. I've got 3 laptops now. I've decided if I'm giving one to my mom or not.
I actually have 2 more upstairs. It's just
They're not here
They're
now.
upstairs.
yeah. The best thing about this is Kyle controlling your guys' map and not me.
Well, I'm just saying I can leave a laptop here, so whoever's sitting there, no matter what game
Oh
you're
yeah,
doing,
yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. That would be awesome.
I will see if it can. I'm pretty sure it can run Twitch. We'll have to see if it has an HDMI plug. I'm not quite sure how old it is.
Okay.
I've got a netbook I use for.
Do you know what it's running?
Not a clue.
Like XP or
Not a clue.
Vista or 7 or...
It was one of the things I got in the divorce.
Ah! How long ago was the
Oh,
divorce?
okay.
But it actually was very top of the line of its time.
Yeah. So how long ago was the divorce?
Yeah. How long am I back in Canada? 8 years?
Oh, okay. Very similar to my rig, probably. Actually, that's probably capable.
It was one of the first ones
Yeah,
with
if
thumb
it's-
scanners.
Oh, nice.
Firefox. Okay, we'll just take a moment here.
No, my old yoga's not bad considering. Like,
IBM.
oh, nice.
Yeah, no, it was really.
I have another Dell laptop upstairs. So
Yeah.
worst case scenario.
Yeah.
This my wife uses it to watch Christmas videos mostly.
It is getting that time
Hallmark?
of year.
What's that?
Hallmark Christmas
They
movies?
say that they make.
No,
you-
Christmas videos. Like how to make
Oh, gotcha.
you know
Christmas.
stuff out of other stuff that looks like Christmas stuff.
Do you know Ed, like Sarah
Have
and Ed's
a,
Ed? He's working in Vancouver
good
on
rest of the
Hallmark
game, guys.
Christmas videos.
Yeah.
Will do.
Oh,
movies.
my friend's been working
See you
on
Thursday.
that
On
stuff.
Thursday. I'll see some of you
Yeah.
guys on Thursday.
Smooth sailing, Kyle.
Yep.
All right. What I'm going to do, actually, we're going to take just a 5-minute break. I'm just going to see Kyle off, and then I'm going to rejoin you. Great time for a bathroom break or to refill your coffee or something. We'll be right back.
There's still coffee.
I don't think
There
so.
might. There might be. We haven't been hitting it that hard.
See my
I've had.
Kev brought his
Salvation
own.
season 2.
I have 2 cups.
So a guy I know at work, his son
All right, so Mr. Spivey has left. Harlan and Rika have found the control center in the Gamora hub, which is going to allow you to hopefully not only track down where Zyrko's cargo is, but also map the network.
Find the rest of Marvin.
Find the rest of Marvin.
You should show them what Marvin looks like.
What's that?
People don't know how cute
Oh, we will.
Marvin is.
Well, we don't know what Marvin's going to look like because Marvin's body was destroyed.
I know, I broke it. I break everything.
You're very breaky.
I'm chaos. It really just is me.
Alright.
Do we have remnants of his synaptic cores?
You do.
We picked up all the pieces.
Yeah. But we might have to transplant him into something new, basically.
Well, if you recall correctly, you had the synaptic processors that you had yet to install.
Yeah, right.
Right?
So what did he have? 2 and we had an extra 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had 2 and one of them was destroyed. So you have 5.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no thing.
But
to
you need
scoff
2.
at.
You need pairs, right?
You need nope.
Oh, so 5 works.
How
You
what
guys
was the most he had installed in the past?
So bear in mind
Just
that
2.
the body that you had him in had a maximum processor capacity of 6. And you had to have double the parallel, otherwise the
That's
processing
right.
became unbalanced.
That's right.
Right.
That's
I got
what
notes.
you were thinking of.
I got
think.
notes because
Yeah.
you guys were trying to explain it to me. And
Yeah.
So
my brain.
So we need to find something that's got at least 10 processing.
Well, we kind of don't. We have
15 if you want to use all of them.
Oh, 3 times as much?
You need double the parallel processing.
Okay.
Otherwise, he becomes unstable.
Yeah.
Oh, don't we have a couple of other bodies of robots?
Yeah, the combat droid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure putting Marvin into the combat droid would be perfectly good with Ludolf. So while you were gone, we... what have you done?
Well, we needed a heavy gunner and he doesn't even take rations.
You know, I think we might need to actually say we did that just to see what Kyle's reaction is. Because that would be awesome.
The medic droid in the medbay, that doesn't support any of those. Right?
It's just an arm on it.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
basically just a glorified.
I thought we actually had.
No, it's actually an auto dock.
Yeah.
Okay, it actually has 2 parallel units inside of it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But we'd have to replace the existing ones if we were going to.
You'd have to, and then you would not be able to put the balance in.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 2-to-1 balance for the parallel processing required.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it has 1 parallel with serial, so it's actually even less powerful than Marvin
his
was.
existing.
Kind of like a PS2.
Marvin was actually really overpowered.
Yeah.
Because the actual gremlin unit that he was built into normally has 2 parallel, 1 serial unit. Right? He had 4 parallel, 2 synaptics.
No.
Right? So whoever built Marvin really built Marvin.
Well, that was Rain because that was his kid, wasn't it?
That was who?
Didn't Rain build him?
Marvin
No.
came with the ship.
No, if Marvin was a function of Rain, then he would have been destroyed by the dissonance key.
For some reason I thought Rain had something to do with him.
Rain may have
Some other
loaded some data to Marvin
the
somehow.
offspring of some other
All right.
rogue AI.
I can't remember where Marvin came from originally. Old crew.
Inside the ship.
Yeah, old crew. As far as this crew is concerned, he was.
Nock didn't have anything to do with him?
Who?
Nock?
Nock did have something to do with him.
Okay, that was before my time.
Yeah.
Nock built him.
There we have it.
Who's Knock?
Nock was a character that Cameron's old character knew. The guy who died.
He was like a... Did Nock die?
No, Nock didn't
Cameron's
die.
old
Cameron's
Oh,
old
Cameron's
character.
a character died.
When your guys'
Yeah, I was there
party
for that, I
went.
think.
Yeah, for the satchel charge.
Yes, the all exploded.
Okay. But, all of that to say that it is... you guys are at the Gamora hub.
Yeah.
Alright, so you arrive. This is, sure enough, built right into the wall of the actual canyon itself. And as you approach, sure enough, you see that the door is open into the place. Okay? It leads very shortly to a lift. Now, the lift, of course, is locked in place, but there is a set of runged ladders leading down. Okay? As you arrive, you reach out to Falk by radio, but there's no response.
Oh. It's too far underground.
His healer?
Yeah, his hailer does not respond. You bring the ship around, park it. The closest you can get is about 200 meters from the actual entrance
It's not
itself.
too shabby. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close actually. Okay.
All right.
Bigger than with the twos on top.
Well, did we split up? Because I thought you and I were going directly there. They were going back.
Yeah.
to the
So
ship.
when you arrive,
So
so he's headed back. They're headed back to the ship. They'll arrive momentarily.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though is when
So
you
when you arrive,
arrive, right,
There's no
you
response.
reach out to Falk by
Yeah.
hailer, and there is no response.
Or we're at his last location.
Yes.
Last location. That makes me suspicious.
and it says admin.
Okay. Well, let's radio
Actually-
the ship and say that we're going
Yeah.
inside. We
Yeah.
can't. We can't get Folk on the blower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll
Round the horn.
communicate back, as Matt said.
Okay. So you communicate back. They'll fly the ship to his location. They'll be here in about the next 10 minutes or so. As you head inside, you reach across the thing to grab the ladder. You can see some places this ladder is covered with sort of this fine grit, probably from this poisonous soup that sort of surrounds the place. But there are places where those are bare, okay, as if somebody recently, say within the last 5 minutes, has climbed the ladder downwards.
So we'll track. Hey, if someone had survival, not me, could they track?
Well,
I mean,
it's
the
pretty
grit- is
straightforward.
there
I do have survival.
Yeah, because if there's enough grit and stuff and undisturbed matter. I
Yeah.
mean, this obviously went down the ladder now, but when we get to the foot of the ladder, that might come in handy.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get down there and.
Yep.
All right. Well, by coincidence, I have a map.
Oh.
So going down the ladder, is that going to be what isolates her radio signals?
It could be that this is like some big data
Yeah,
bunker
'cause, like,
and
if
it's
it's
just
exactly-
shielded or something. It
That's
might be
my-
that we can chat them up when we get down here or whatever.
Well,
Our communicators, we can go like Unity. Yeah, because it's radio, so we can call directly to them. It's not like we have to really. If we're doing encrypted, we have to go back through the ship, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That makes sense. The decentralized, you're blowing up, Ted.
Yes.
Don't blow up.
What's
Ted.
happening?
Oh, I don't know. His watch is going off.
Yeah.
Telling him all the informations. Just
It's
trying
my
to cheat on the SATs.
no, it's my in-laws. My father-in-law's in the hospital again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's up in the interior.
Nope, up in Kitimat. So.
Oh, okay. I guess I think of.
And then
Kenya as
there's
the
drop.
interior somehow.
It's North Coast. There's nothing
The
I can do
mainland.
about it though, and family
Oh.
drama.
Oh,
So.
no.
All right. Did I do something wrong here?
Yes. Never.
Already muted my phone.
That's a lot of stuff coming in.
Oh yes.
Jeez.
So you have sight. I thought I tested this before we began, but obviously I did not.
Oh, you got Fog of War?
Yes.
There you go.
There we are.
All right. So when you descend into the bottom, you can see directly to the north of you, right here, there is an elevator door. That door has been pried open. Actually, if it's been pried open, then you would see beyond. Right.
Do we get point to point with Falk's Hailer?
All right. So what you see is there is some sort of chemical emergency lighting. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This place is actually built into the wall. So you imagine that the actual metal and construction of the actual wall itself probably preserved a tremendous amount of this from the EMP blast, right? Its transmittance through solid mediums is relatively little, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a big Faraday cage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as you look down here, what you do see, however, is straight down in here, bodies lay in the hallway directly ahead of you. You hail, you call, like you try to link with Falk. However, the hailer connects, but there is no response.
Okay, interesting. So, This was an elevator shaft?
You're
Or
standing in the
elevator?
elevator shaft.
Oh, okay, we're in the elevator. Yeah, because we went down the elevator.
All right. Let's approach this really carefully. I think it's time for observation.
Yes, this makes me suspicious.
Can your brain go blah and find them?
Oh, look, I've got
Is there danger?
dice for
Yes.
observation.
What's that?
Oh, look, I have the dice for observation in my hand.
Okay.
I think I will do that.
I'll.
I'm gonna push myself.
I will ready my weapon and listen as well and look.
Okay.
There we go. 1 success. 2 failures on my push, though.
Jeez.
That's a big stack
I'm about to spend
of
it too.
fun coming our way.
Okay. Yeah, so Falk was obviously excited. So you can see the trail directly below you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see basically footprints in the grit. Okay. You need survival to tell you more than that, but they obviously lead directly ahead of you.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing you notice as well is, as you kind of look out, of course, you've seen a lot of bodies on Caprice so far. What you see here is you see 2 men in obvious sight here and underneath the chemical lights.
Mm.
However, all around them, there's actually sprays of blood. These guys did not die of asphyxiation.
But they were shot.
They were gunned down.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing you notice as well is along the walls in this space, right here, you see warning secure area ahead.
Hmm. It might be
With
turrets
automated-
or something.
Yeah. Automated defenses don't need oxygen.
Yeah,
And
but
an isolated
Falk didn't
fusion-
get attacked by them.
He's not answering his hailer. I'm a little suspicious. I guess we're waiting till Judah joins us.
He's got me on there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
As we cautiously survey the area,
All
she
right.
eventually comes down the ladder and we.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait
Sure,
until
wait
she
for it.
comes down the ladder.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so ahead of you, the other thing you notice as well is that for the first time, which really stands out to you, underneath the grit, there is actually a green light on the wall here. It seems to be attached to a security panel.
Oh.
Hey, infiltrator.
Mm-hmm.
No, the panel is already activated.
So it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's green. Okay.
Well, I'm assuming Ari is not responding.
She
as
is
well.
also not here.
But they're not dead in front of us, so.
All right. Well, let's proceed forward slowly and cautiously.
Okay.
Guns out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Apparently Honto is the light source.
What's that?
Are there bullet holes in the wall behind us, or in any of the
That
doors?
was the light source?
Yeah, when you moved him, the light.
Oh, no. It's a... Oh, I see.
No, he's the light source.
Yeah, okay. No, what it is that the others don't have visibility. Let me fix that. 2 seconds.
Get all of our perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a door to the right and a door to the left.
Are those doors? Or is this just a hallway?
Well, it looks they're thinner walls than the walls,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
and there's black space behind them.
Okay, so I've updated the light, so let's do this.
I run back and see if the lights go up for them.
So now everybody's perspective should be... So Honto...
We might be dealing with the roll 20.
No, it's a visibility thing. It's who can see what.
Okay.
It's probably all players can see. All players see light. Fog of war distance. Has sight. Control by, show name, you're all the same. All right, well,
I'm very
well.
flashlight.
stick together.
Yeah, stick together, team.
Yeah, so there's actually light in here. You don't actually have to. You don't need your flashlights.
Right. Yeah, so like I was saying, are there any signs of, like, say, bullet holes in the wall behind
yes.
us down here? Like, down...
No, here there are, like right here.
Okay,
And
so
that-
fire was coming this way.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And we can't see anything further down this hallway?
Farther on, no, the door ahead of you appears to be closed.
Okay.
The light is green, however.
Okay. Alright, there's no pool of blood coming out from underneath the door?
Mm-hmm.
No, not yet.
Do we know where Airy and Felk's hailers are in relation to ours?
Yes. Aries, yeah, they are... Would you? No, because you lost communication.
Yeah.
The... no, because...
It's connecting, just no answer.
They didn't send you directions, though, so I think that's probably the problem. Right? So there is also a door here. There's another door, a smaller door leading off right
Told
there.
ya.
Uh-huh.
Which way do the footprints go?
The footprints go to the right.
Follow the footprints.
Yes?
Yep.
All right.
Why would we do
I'll
otherwise?
examine those two bodies though for a minute.
Walk into the
if I
exact
can.
same trap.
That's right.
Okay, so examine the bodies, yes?
Yeah. With my metacurgy. They're dead, Jim. Sorry, they're dead, Silas.
All right, do it.
What is my metacurgy? 433. And 4 whoops. One success.
Go
They
ahead
were-
and ask your question. What do you want to know?
Cause of death and how long ago they died. So I'm going to say if I only got one, how long ago they died.
No. Yeah, cause of death. Obvious bullet wounds.
Yeah, I'm just figuring that was
The cause of the time of death is a little bit hard because the air here is also deoxygenated. It's anaerobic.
I think if they're mummifying, if they're showing they've been dried out for weeks,
You
or
would
months,
guess
or fresh.
3 to 6 months.
Okay. Not recent.
No, they
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
probably died during the incident.
I'd have to know what the humidity is and temperature to figure out rate of
Yes.
mummification. All I know is they didn't die 15 minutes ago.
No, absolutely not.
They're
In the
not
last day or
fresh.
so. Not fresh.
Okay, so you guys pass through to this way?
Mm-hmm.
Following the tracks, yep.
Oh yeah, any cash in their wallets? No, I'm not checking their wallets for
Yes.
cash. Is the cash worth anything?
All right. You pass through into what appears to be some sort of break room. Okay.
Mhm.
The break room itself, you can see lockers on the wall. There is another door.
Kind of that black spot.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that.
It's not pertinent to the mission, but Hanto does check their wallets, sees if they have IDs, and sort of notices their names.
You do. Okay, they actually have. They're wearing uniforms, the blue and
Yeah.
gray of the CMC.
I'll say a few words to whatever the name is, but
Okay.
it's not.
You don't really know too much about uniforms, etc., or what it means in the CMC, but these guys appear to be functionaries of some sort.
Yeah.
They do have ID tags on their chest. Okay, radio transceiver ID
Yeah.
tags. Okay.
Friend, foe.
Okay.
We've had to deal with that before.
Yeah.
The whole friend-foe thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you see here is this is obviously some sort of break room. Okay. There's a table where you're basically come through the door. To the south of you, there seems to be a variety of collected goods, etc., that have been set aside. On the south wall, on this wall right here, and this wall right here, there are two heavy racks that what they look like is they almost look like shower stalls with no window. However, you're able to easily recognize them for what they are. Spectre by Manticore.
Ah.
They are
Goody.
Spectre charging stations.
Are they still powered with some sort of emergency generator that has months-long supply?
They do apparently have power.
That does not help me feel better about where we are.
That's what chased me, wasn't it?
Should have brought EMP grenades.
Let's just break everything that's left. It's just done.
Maybe we can take one of the specters and like install Marvin.
Yeah. Oh. Just a specter.
I'm telling you, we need a gunner and we love our Marvin.
That's right. Two.
Like,
yeah, that's
Spectres
right.
can talk.
Break 2 eggs with 1 mallet.
All right. Yeah, so there are 2 Spectre charging stations. They are ominously empty.
Okay. Are there obvious, like, recent tracks in the dust on the floor from them?
This area apparently has not seen that much atmosphere. So as you walk in here, the dust in this room apparently was sealed, so the tracks have actually vanished from the floor.
Oh, there would be anything to show tracks. Okay, gotcha.
Keep going.
Okay.
Next door.
Okay.
Splinter gun's useless.
All right. Okay, so for the first time on the planet, you're actually able to push the buttons and have the doors open.
Never happens.
which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, the light on the other side gives you pause.
Why?
Because you actually see shadows moving. And you can hear heavy metal feet upon deck plates.
Oh,
Trying to close the doors?
yeah. Where the fuck did those 2 go?
Well, it looked like they just went right. Like there was no obvious track.
There's no other way out of this room. So their boot prints led into this corridor. Then they vanished.
Sealed and kind of lose track of that thing. Okay.
So, just a quick question though. Spectres can be armed with a variety of weaponry.
Yes.
So the bullets that riddled the other bodies could have been from a Spectre or something completely else. So these 2 ID badges might be completely useless.
Did you take them?
She suggested. I didn't want to.
I was curious about taking them as well, except they're dead, which means that...
All right, the door opens.
Yeah.
Your door opens. You hear clank, 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 clank. Intruder, identify yourself. You have 5 seconds to comply.
I am... Look at the ID tag.
I can't pronounce that name.
Rojinder... sorry. Mariash Gomeshi.
Mariash Gomeshi?
Yeah.
This poor Gomeshi family.
No,
We
Okay.
are their bane.
Okay. Yeah, so... Accessing. Security database offline. This is a restricted area.
We'll be leaving.
Can we just close the door?
Clank, clank, clank.
Wow.
You can hear them moving. The sound seems to be getting louder.
Yeah.
I'd like to close the door.
I'd like to close the door
Okay.
and get out of that room.
Okay.
Can I break the panel?
Yeah, because that works. Yeah, so you can... what I will say is that with your intrusion, you can attempt to lock the panel.
That's my thought, yes.
All right, so the door... Okay, so you can hear them moving steadily forward, right? And then, as you're closing the door, you hear a plaintive voice. There's specters in the hallway!
Yeah, because they're on the
There
other
is.
side. But if they're chasing us, that might give them a chance.
All right. You unlock the door?
We fought specters.
I'm thinking
How did we
so,
fight
because that
Well,
will
it's a lot
slow
of
them
grenades and...
down. Yeah, lock the door because it buys us time. They'll should chase us and go through the door. So I'm saying, lock the door, give us some time. And then I'll be messaging them on the other side. Texting,
Okay.
I guess, because so they don't have to talk out loud.
Right.
We'll try to draw the specters off.
All right.
Oh, wait, I
All right,
have
I'm
commands.
gonna
So
try
actually, it makes sense they're making a plan.
Lock the door.
Lock the door,
Lock
buy
the
us
door.
time. They come
Yeah, do
through.
you have,
We'll
like-
try to ambush them.
I've got +1 in technology for demo and bypass, so that's
Okay.
why I've got 2
That's like
Okay.
a good plan.
in red, 1 for my kit, and 3 for my wet.
Yes. Doe.
So, that's my kit.
So-
Are we supposed to be sacrificing stuff when we push? We haven't done that today.
You have to be calling when you push what you're
Yeah, sorry, what you're risking.
Right.
No one's actually failed to push yet, so. But we were.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think I will push.
Okay.
Although, what does that mean? It just
It's
means my
your
double
kit.
kit is.
It means your kit's out of action.
Yeah.
You left
Fatigue
your
was
was
agility,
clips on the
right?
wall.
Yeah.
That's sort of
okay.
what I've been. My default go-to.
And what am I risking?
Yours was anger.
Injury, fatigue, frustration.
Yeah, probably frustration.
Okay, good.
Always frustration.
There we go. A
There
couple
are
of
sixes.
successes.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so the door slice goes right, and then you manage to lock it. Unfortunately, after you lock it, there's like a shower of spark, and the security system goes offline.
Oh boy! All right. Huh.
That might have worked too well. Because this was my plan. They chase us through this door. You lock it to buy us time. I stand here, so when they come through, I draw them there. You and Judah ambush them from the sides.
Okay,
Because there is things
you
to
can
hide
hear a
there.
metallic fist. Boom, boom, boom. Malefactors, open this door. You are to be detained.
You'll never stop us from looting all the high security stuff from this compound. Ha ha ha. Foolish robot. So here's the plan.
Like taunt them to.
I don't know. It's the only robot taunt I can think of. I will try to shout something at them.
Okay.
But how does that sound? Because we gotta get.
Well, and if our friends are past them somehow.
And I will text via the hailer.
Well, that's the thing. If they went past and then the two dudes
They're
cut off
trapped
the...
probably on the
Yeah.
other. They're probably trapped on the other side
Yeah.
or something.
I don't know. Two
Yeah.
specters is a lot for us.
It is. The other option is just lock the door and run away. And
What did we deal with in the space station?
Telephone.
thing?
We had
Zyrko.
Dread. We had all of us. We had.
But we also have more than
guns.
2 specters.
We had lots.
Yeah.
We also had Crane, which
I did some pretty
pulled a bit
badass
more weight in
shots.
combat
Yeah.
than.
And then grenades, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do have grenades on my list. And we
I've
didn't
got
say-
grenades, but like my gun for these guys is a pistol. So
How
it's
good
not
is the charge
exactly-
PDW versus specters?
Spectres have 5 points of armor.
Yeah. So armor piercing was the important thing. Crane had a laser weapon, as I recall.
Yes.
Which was good for that.
Yes.
Is the charge PDW good for that? Mediocre, not great. I'm not sure what the armor piercing is on it.
There is no armor piercing.
Right, so not great is what you're
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Actually terrible.
Well, and charge infers binary propellant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
They're lethal guns.
Oh yeah,
guess.
for sure. But something Gauss was probably higher velocity
Yeah.
or potentially more AP.
Mhm.
Or
So the only
laser
thing I can
again,
think of-
something.
Think of
Unless
is
it's
reflective
either
arms
we
for
run
the
away,
guys
leave
who-
Rika and Falk, so we tell them we will remember them always and with great
We
fondness.
can't.
They're
Or
NPCs, so
Or these boxes and stuff provide cover from that you guys could hide from the specters.
On the table.
Yeah, but then
little
there's,
hallway.
they're gonna trash us though because they have like 2 steps and they can just fling things around.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
and I don't want to be that
stand
close
here.
in with a grenade. Like if we'd be
Yeah, that's
stacked
true.
up in the hallway with
doesn't
grenades.
matter. That door is permanently locked.
Oh, they're not gonna be able to open it.
The one.
The one you just closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just locked it forever.
So the
That was these. I spent these.
So
to
we have to
permanently lock
leave
that
and
door.
see if we can get around.
Okay. Yeah. Let's explore.
And hopefully
further.
they'll focus on trying to get through the
Let's
door.
explore further. Maybe there's another way in here.
do
Quickly.
you want me to, at least while they're distracted by the door, maybe Rika and Falk can do something. So I will jabber at them through the door. You'll never stop us. Haha! You're trapped on the other side of the door. Bang on it a bit. Rile up the specters.
All right.
Yeah, I'm heading back. Just why we have
So my bypass kit's basically just done for until I recharge
Yes.
it.
Yeah. So what happens is you when you lock the door,
Yeah.
it fed back into your
Something happened. Yes.
You have to replace a fuse.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
So I think what we're going to do, I actually wanted to get you guys into this today, but it took us a while to kind of get the game started.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's okay. I think this is where we will pick up for our next session of the Mara League. You guys are in one of the subterranean admin stations for Gomorrah City, trapped in here with specters and Falk and Rika somewhere within the complex. Their hailer, by the way, is in this room. His
This room?
hailer, yes. Yeah. So when you message him,
It's beeping in here.
yes.
Oh,
So they
grab a
dropped
silver,
it.
Yeah, they probably fled into that other room and are hiding. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're in there and then the specters woke up, they bolted. And they went deeper instead of towards the exit.
Hey, hypothesis: those specters were dormant until Falk said, "Hey, I wonder if these specters. It looks like they have power.
I wonder how this
Some
helmet
buttons.
works.
And press some buttons."
Yup.
Well,
So you know that's exactly what Falk did.
Yeah.
Does
Does
Look
it
at these
require?
specters. Wow, they're in prime condition. Attention, interloper. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Guys? Rika grabs him. Come on, you fool!
Here we go again.
Okay,
All right.
Alright.
cool. Well, that was fun. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been the Merrily, episode 10, season 5. Characters are now back on the now ghost world of Caprice, looking for a variety of things. And we will see you again in 2 weeks. We'll see exactly how well they do that. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time.